Welcome back to the watch. And in the words of Frodo Baggins, it's done. We've been on a grand journey. We've gone there and back again. Was it an adventure? I guess. We survived. Oh, wow. Rings of Power Season 2 final episode. We are unironically in realms of just comedic nonsense. And I mean that sincerely. Like, when I try and express how bad this show is, I have certain catchphrases like unbelievable crap, meaningless drivel, nonsense to the nth degree. I slop, right? I'm not being hyperbolic. This is one of the worst shows ever made. And this episode, like it feels like they're not even trying. But the thing is that I know they are, but yet they're not. I think it's like they're trying really hard to paint a picture of slop. And they don't care that it's slop. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They don't care about the fact that the ending image thing that they're producing is just nonsense, stupid drivel, right? Yet they do really care about putting in a lot of effort to get it there, it seems like. I mean, when I say like in parts of it, they don't care that it's nonsense at the end, right? They have been building up and teasing this friggin' Balrog for 2 seasons. And when you see what the payoff is, it's like you could only do that if you've just you don't care about the payoff. You don't care about trying to give the audience something satisfying. And like, I'm sure they're not caring about satisfying me. I'm one of these, mean haters online. Well, no, if this show was good, I would be celebrating it and fighting for it as I do with all the things I like, regardless of the backlash that gets sent my way and the crap I cop. Like, I like what I like unashamedly. As good friend Gary from Nerdrotic says, there's no shame to my game. I got that phrase from him. And that's something to live by. Yes, I happily announce that I like Twilight. I don't say it's good, all right? But I enjoy it, okay? And so if you want an example of me being fully happy to just say I like crap, I liked Mandalorian Season 1, okay? And I explained many times why I liked that on EFAP and other places, all right? And so I've by no means ever gone out of my way wanting to hate this. And I know that they wouldn't, intend to wanting to make the show, good for me. They're not trying for me. But it seems like even the fans that, seem like this, they're not even trying for them. It's like they know that the people who actually like this show will just eat whatever slop they throw out. So they've stopped trying to get to that result. They'll polish the turd a lot, but they're not going to try and change it from being a turd. Okay. And so like the payoff of that Balrog is laughable. I mean, people get truly oftentimes we say that, oh, look, this character should have died, right? Remember that she comes back, by the way, the love interest for Elendil. Is it Elendil? I get those mixed up. But she was the Southlander who tried to hide her brand and everything like that. In one of the episodes, an Ent knocks her with a log, and she gets flying into a stone, a big giant rock, and that should kill her, right? And things like that, I think it's easier for people to just, all right, try and ignore it. maybe give it a pass, right? In this episode, there are moments of no. There is no question. You can't argue that this should kill them, okay? And look, spoilers right out of the gate. Galadriel jumps off a cliff, falls on solid ground, okay? No cushion, and this cliff is like 100 meters high, right? And she doesn't even have a single broken bone. Remember Arendir, how he got stabbed twice and one right in the chest? He is perfectly fine. No injury at all. And he goes on to fight in this episode like nothing happened. Okay? That's what they just don't give a crap anymore. They know it's slop. They know this is unbelievable, nonsensical drivel. And they're like, you cannot tell me they don't know this at this point. You can't tell me that they're like, oh, Galadriel fell off a friggin' cliff. And you see her on the ground, and they're only focusing on the stab that Sauron's hat did to her. Okay? Like, this is what I mean. It's all meaningless. Every single thing you see in this show, right, doesn't mean spit. They will happily just ignore it. There is no stakes, no sense of urgency or implication of something bad happened because they will just ignore it. That's what I mean. This show is meaningless. Nothing matters at all. So I do not know how people could be invested in anything in the show where nothing matters at all. And this episode just takes the cake. It took all the ridiculousness of all the other episodes and just ramps it up. And I'll show you direct examples, right? Oh my flipping goodness. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Piston, it is good to see you. Shad, didn't Balrog get blue balled for a teaser season? 4S3. My brain has gone in. 4 season 3, right? Probably, but oh wow, what they did with the Balrog. I'll show you. It's comical. It is comical. Mages Guild $5 says, guess what arrived today? I have the official Night's Watch hoodie. Hell yeah. My review of this episode is tomorrow. The law breaks will take 2,000 words. Yeah. Hey, Zodlander, thank you for joining and becoming a member. We appreciate you, sir. PL Haberhand for 10 PLN. Did Discount Legolas survive? Dude, not only did he survive, he had no injury at all. He was perfectly fine, like uninjured. And he goes on and fights and everything. It's amazing, right? Mages Guild for $10 says that Balrog should not rise for thousands of years in time for Durin the Fourth. To be honest, Galadriel crowned in the heart and yeeting off a cliff made me laugh as well. That's what that actual comical, like ridiculousness in this episode. A lot of episodes are comical ridiculousness, but I think this one has the most. It's farcical. I applauded Sauron, dude. When she suddenly pulls out the Chun-Li kung fu kick out of nowhere and yeets out, I laughed, man. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, if this is it's not because elves heal magically, because they want some injuries to stick around, like when she gets the stab in the heart from Sauron's hat, right? His spiky hat. That one sticks around. But then other wounds like are not existent. I still cannot believe they have her fall off a cliff and not a single broken bone. It's incredible. Like I am in awe of the ineptitude all round. And yeah, you're at a point where it's just comically bad. And now that we're at the end of this journey, and don't worry, we will be going into the episode scene by scene, breaking down as we usually do. But I do just get a bit reflective at the end of this journey, trying to wonder, like why? What was the point of this? And look, there's some pretty clear reasons. Okay, We've shared them on FNT. Gary's mentioned them and stuff, where this seemingly was award bait, right? This is the thing Amazon was willing to invest in so much money to be taken seriously as a production studio. If they could get this up, most incredible production ever, win awards and stuff like that, Hollywood would take Amazon seriously. that's not working out for them. Like they were so desperate to show that they weren't amateurs at any of this. They showed themselves to be some of the biggest amateurs in the world. Like the writing is beyond amateur hour. And I do feel a little sorry for some of the people who just are working in the industry earnestly and wanting to make a living and stuff like that. And even though clearly there's going to be some people who are just trying to do their best in this show, that doesn't mean this show deserves any benefit of the doubt, okay? Or any charity for what it actually is, okay? This show is a cynical bastardization of something truly wholesome. Lord of the Rings, okay? The author himself, Mr. Professor Tolkien, he would be insulted by this show for what they are doing to his work. Okay, it's for these reasons, and also the underlying. It is so disgusting and nihilistic that the show wants you to be on Galadriel's side when she is a villain. She is absolutely the worst, and I have a video when we're reviewing season 1 of Rings of Power explaining the philosophy underpinning the show, that it's actually unironically evil. There is evil philosophies and motivations, and the heroes are awful bad people and the stuff. Like this is that level. This is kind of like I call it anti-entertainment because of how just not entertaining it is, of course, but also for the fact that it's like anti-human spirit. It wants you to abandon the idea of standards and just be happy with slop, okay? And they just want you to eat it up. PL Hammerhand for 10 PLN. Important question. Which episode was the worst? This might be the worst. Yeah. I mean, subjectively, I probably got annoyed by the last episode more because of the battle nonsense, okay? But the thing about a story is the narrative that's supposed to have more weight and more significance is the plot, the characters and stuff, all right? The action should be a nice kind of garnish on a decent meal, all right? Depending on the type of movie. Like, for instance, a martial arts, flick, the action is the main course, okay? But for some of the best stories, the main course should be the story and then complemented by some great action. And so this is the final episode where the stories and payoffs need to all come together. And it is laughable and comical in how bad they try and resolve so many things. There's so many tangential things going on with side characters that you can tell the show doesn't even care about. They just feel obligated to try and finish their story because they're in season 1. They don't know what to do with Numenor or discount Gandalf or Nori and Poppy, right? And so they've barely been in season 2. And I forgot to mention someone, and I'm pretty sure you probably forgot about this character too because it's so pointless and meaningless to the show. It's the son, Isildur or Elendil. Remember, I get it mixed up. Mage's Guild for $2 says, what they did to Isildur is worse than Elrond. Dude, what they've done to all the characters. And Mage's Guild again for $2. Tom Bombadil. Isildur is the worst. They ruined Tom Bombadil, absolutely. But yeah, like what they did with the son, Numenorian guy, whatever. Again, I'm pretty sure it's Isildur. That's the son. It's just like obligatory mention. Oh, he's here. Don't forget about him. That's him there, right? And so they try and round off the stories of these side characters, and it's all pointless. And it's, oh man, the dwarves. I forgot. Yeah, there's another side plot. The dwarves and the Balrog, right? They're all so forgettable. And the payoffs that they do are just laughably bad. And then, of course, what they do with Galadriel and the final conclusion, right? I'm once again, I should stop being surprised. I know I can't help it. I can't help but be surprised at this continual, consistent incompetence. Piston for $2 says, if Mike Ehrmantraut was alive, he should kill the Balrog. Well, that troll, again, a good example of like a pathetic payoff that means nothing. Zodlander, member for 3 months. Dude, thank you for sticking around being a member. How does Rings of Power budget per episode reach 58 million? Did they refill the river after the battle with vegan mud? Where did the money go? I think in people's pockets. I reckon the producers, the showrunners, and when I say producers, they'll probably have so many producers. I bet they all just made sure their wages, they got paid fat stacks of cash, right? And then whatever was left, was left. Like there's so many like examples of it's seemingly low budget, and it's weird that because there's so much money. So yeah, I think it just goes in people's pockets. James Sapp for $20. Been watching the appendices for Fellowship. It is interesting comparing Jackson saying that it is wrong to bring our modern crap into Tolkien's works. Rings of Power wanted to make it look like the world we live in today. 100%. And thank you for the super chat. You're absolutely right. That was one of the most insulting things. I was saying it in the lead up to season 2, where they felt that it should reflect the world we live in today and look a bit like our world. It's like, okay, that's proof you don't want to depict Tolkien's world. You want to depict your world, your ideology, your viewpoints. And from the get-go, this was just a vehicle for their own agenda. Okay, for Amazon to try and get some, award bait, for them to eject modern sensibilities and to update Tolkien for a modern audience, okay? And to subvert original meaning and themes to it and stuff. And it wasn't about depicting or paying respect to someone else's work who was no longer with us, right? It was about taking advantage of that work for their own benefit. And I'm not saying like you can't have a profit motive. I'm sure Peter Jackson wanted the films to be successful and get a profit, but he wanted to do it by respecting the work because the work was popular and good for a reason. And so you don't need to recreate it to make it popular. It was popular already. And if you're going to remake it in your own image, you're just going to piss off the people that loved what it was, which is exactly what we've done. This show is an insult to Lord of the Rings fans, and Tolkien 100%. Recently, just like yesterday or the day before, did a live stream on Night's Watch. It's our weekly live stream called The Culture Crusade. Check it out. And I get to hang out with a drink with Crazy, Roast Drink with Crazy, Mike S. Miller, and Literature Devil. And it's a heck of a lot of fun. But in the last one, we were kind of unpacking this abomination, okay? How much it just destroys what Lord of the Rings is, and how much Professor Tolkien himself would despise it. So check out that review if you want to see us kind of go into more depth on that front. Okay. And so cynical. The whole thing is cynical from start to finish. And because it's just so cynical, it deserves to be cancelled. This thing is does not add any benefit at all. All right. Apart from maybe a cautionary tale, an example of the hubris of people and large corporations that they cannot get away with it. All right. It's being rejected. It's failing. People hate this. And will forever stand as an example of what not to do. Something that is horrendously bad. Okay. This will never be remembered with fondness, with looking back as a great work of art that you would want to emulate. It's going to be looked back upon as a joke, as almost maybe even some embarrassment about it. When we look back at the past, it's like, wow, we really got pretty bad as a society, didn't we? If that's the crap that we're going out. And look, not everyone, but of course, definitely Hollywood got really, really bad. Yep. Evil cannot create or corrupt what is already there. And I know that's not an exact quote, but the sentiment, absolutely, I agree with. This is a parody of a parody. We will look back in anger and scorn. Yeah. It'll be an interesting time in the history books. Carmen Ryder for 5 KFP says, I've been running a fever with pneumonia for 2 weeks. Dude, that sucks, man. And yet it has still been a more pleasant experience than when sitting through this abomination. Yeah, it's been rough, but we've made it. We got there. We got there in the end. And now I guess it is time to break it down bit by bit, and let me demonstrate to all the wonderful people joining me this fine evening or morning, wherever you are. Rings of Power, the final episode. And so it opens up with the dwarves and Durin running to see his father. He's got a because remember, the king has gone a bit mad. Okay. And he's gonna mine that mine, because even people going off to war, he's gonna do it. Zodlander for 50 SEK says, are we as Lord of the Ring fans spoiled because of the Peter Jackson trilogy? In my opinion, no. Next generations are getting a corrupted version and we all deserve better. I absolutely agree. The good thing is we have the great stories that have once been made. We still have the Jackson trilogy, and I show my kids that. I don't show them this crap, okay? There's a lifetime's worth of great entertainment that we can enjoy, and then we can be selective about what is being made currently, and only, enjoy the good stuff. Master Foltababa, sorry for my mispronunciation, for $2 just donated. Thank you very much. And Charles Sapp for $5 says, how is it that YouTube channel Shiloh and Bros has content that looks better than this? It is also family friendly with good humor. Yeah, out of the very few YouTube channels I was perfectly fine for my kids to watch, Shiloh and Bros was actually one of those ones, and it was wholesome. And though then they went down a rabbit hole of just random YouTube recommendations, and they end up watching crap. And so I've got them off watching YouTube now. But when they were watching Shiloh and Bros, was one of those ones that I was like, okay, they're decent. And yeah, this show, Rings of Power, does not look good. It is embarrassing how bad this looks. So Durin, he goes to Deezer, and Deezer's like, your dad's gone mad, and he tells her explicitly, don't follow no matter what you hear, regardless of what you hear. So Durin is here, right? And it's just like, even small things. Why do they have to make everything stupid? They don't have to do this, right? It's the whole same thing with the siege engine of the last episode, where a battering ram is perfectly adequate, but no, they got to be special. And so in a mine, you know what you like dwarves would use? Picks. They've already shown them using picks, but they've got to have something special. And so, ironically, when you think about what happened last episode, he has a mini battering ram to try and break down and mine. It's like, that's not how you mine. This would never work. Stone has phenomenal compressive strength, right? It's a reason why it's holding, it has a mountain of weight, and it's still intact because it can handle that compressive weight. It has very poor tensile strength, and so you use a pick, you hammer it in, you break them apart, you leverage the pick in, and then you leverage it off, pulling the stone off the wall because it has poor tensile strength, and you can crack it apart. So trying to pound into rock with a battering ram, just this is already really dumb. And this is one of the first things we see. How? How can they just be so dumb already? Yeah, right. Mining is obviously different there. They must be doing something differently. He should just use his head. Yeah, certainly thick enough. Okay, so is there, and as it's banging, right? It's ringing down, and they tease. Tell me if the audio is working, by the way. It should be coming through. I think it wasn't working last one. Serum Productions, $1.99. Gives a super sticker. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Oh, cool. Audio is good. All right. So they're teasing the bell. Remember, they've built this up for 2 seasons. So I cannot, even just thinking about what they do, I'm laughing, man. It's just like, really, come on. PL Hammerhand for 25 says, Shad, you're wrong. My battering ram destroyed whole castles in Age of Empires 2. This is the thing, right? Using a battering ram against a wall that has no bracing behind it, you could do some damage. You get through. The king, for all his knowledge, he should know. He should think that this is just solid stone. But maybe the ring is telling him that no, it's hollow on the other side. That's why it's still dumb. Carbon Rider KFP for $5 says, remember when they couldn't mine the mithril because the ground was too unstable to dig in, and it was a major plot point last season? Because they don't. 100%. Remember, it's all meaningless. All the things that they try and have established in the past, right? They've forgotten about. It means nothing. All that, conflict around it's unstable means nothing now. All right. All the build up for this Balrog going to mean nothing. Someone gets a mortal wound means nothing. It's meaningless. Everything in the show means nothing. So how on earth are people get invested in this? I don't understand. It's like, what do you care about? What's going to happen? They could just forget about it, reverse it. They don't hold true to anything that they establish. Okay. And yeah, now it's all suddenly really, really solid. And another thing, it seems like they've only been able to get scraps of mithril so far, which doesn't seem to fit, because I thought the great wealth of this Dwarven kingdom was in mithril, The wealth of Moria was not in gold or jewels, but in mithril. They had so much of it, they made full suits of armor out of the stuff. They've barely scratched any out. Okay. Mastro Folta Barbara $5 says, the first season was so bad that I've used Shadow of Mordor and the sequels as a detox. Horny Shalub was better than anything in this show. Thank you, Mastro. Appreciate the super chat. All right, so Durin is like, stop it! And the king is not having any of it. He's just going to hammer it anyway. And so Durin has got an axe. And he's like, look at, he just swings that axe up. And again, small things, but if you cared about what you were making to make it feel real and of quality, you'd be paying attention to stuff like that. An axe head of that size and weight is going to be heavy as anything. And so he's like, swing it up and show the momentum. And if I was even in that role, the actor, I would ask for something to have weight in it. So it actually, I guess, clearly like a foam or rubber prop. And he just he's moving it around like it weighs nothing. So you can barely probably see, but just small details like that. They don't care. They don't care about a lot of stuff. It's funny how much the weapons that appear in this episode are just rubber props, clearly. Serum Productions $2 says, what about the fight between Sauron and Galadriel? Just my depressed laughter of incredulity answer that. yeah, there's a fight scene. Doesn't matter. Galadriel gets stabbed in the heart, falls off a cliff, and she's fine. Yeah, wait for the Chun-Li back kick. So, of course, they have an exchange. Durin is sad. He'd take off the ring. You were once strong. Be strong enough to take off the ring, he's effectively saying. And the king's like, nah. Anyway, he breaks through. They look at all this flopping mithril. Mithril up the wazoo. It's everywhere. Kind of implying that they've barely scratched any mithril out of anywhere. But of course, this is where the Balrog is. And so as the king is like, yeah, haha, I'm right, aren't I good? The fire from the Balrog slowly shines upon his face. And let's watch some of that, though. Again, got to take it in spurts because of the copyright, but oh, the fire! And look who it is, the thing they've been teasing for 2 whole seasons. It's the Balrog. Look, we might even chuck the audio on for this epic moment, right? Slap! And so, like, when this happened, you know, the whip wraps around King Durin's foot. I was like, oh, dang. Go straight out the gate and kill the king. But no, he just kind of gets tugged down a little bit. And again, achieves nothing. It was meaningless. Magnum North for $10 asks, what time is it in Australia? It is 8:30 at night in Australia. It's not too late. It's an evening stream for me, and it's streaming as fast as I could after watching, you know, the episode, taking my notes. But yeah, evening time. I know, right? They wanted to do a Gandalf, the whip around the foot, but with Gandalf, it actually meant something. Pulled him to, you know, his defeat, not his death, but it was teased that it was his death. Where King Durin, he just got tugged down a little bit. Pointless. The only reason they did that was to copy the Jackson trilogy, to have that member berry. You remember something far better than this show is. They like packed full of just ripping off the Jackson trilogy because they don't have the creativity or talent to make anything of substance themselves. So they just need to imitate and copy. And it is such a pathetic, worthless imitation with no substance in comparison. Again, compare it. The only reason they had that here, the whip moment, was for the callback, was for the imitation and copy. It achieves nothing in the plot. Durin is just lying there. And he's like, oh, that was a bit scary. And he looks like achieves nothing. Do you see how just pathetic this is? How cynical it is. They're not even trying to have meaning. They're just blatantly, shamelessly ripping it off. And they've been doing it the whole season. And this episode, even more. Mage's Guild for $10 says, being crowned in the heart twice and surviving is partly why it is so hilarious. Being yeeted is comedy. He has telekinesis and can't just rip the ring from her. It's all nonsense. I agree with you 100%, Mage's Guild. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, like Sauron conveniently forgets he's got a lot of magic in the fight where he, you know, control people's minds. But no, it's because Galadriel can resist. As she says in that epic girl boss moment, the door is shut. You might be wondering how that makes sense. Like, what does that mean? It's because Sauron's trying to say her, oh, the door to your mind is open. I've got all you. And she's like, nah. I got the Galadriel, you know, boss power. Get stuffed. And so I think that's what they're trying to say. That now he just could not use any of his magic. But his magic is so undefined. That's why it doesn't work, all right? Because we actually don't know if it was mind control or telekinesis when he yeeted off that other girl from the wall. It actually looked a bit like telekinesis. Mage's Guild for $5 says, if you think that watching this was hard, I had to watch the US vice president debate, then Agatha all along, and review both after watching Rings of Power. That, oof. I still need to watch Agatha for FNT. So that's on the list. But I've already watched The Joker. Didn't enjoy it. Thought it was kind of bad. So The Joker number 2. And The Penguin, which is really good. Really good. But unfortunately, we're not here to talk about those things, even though The Penguin is actually really good. We're here to talk about this. Abomination. Serum Productions $2 says, it was a serious sword fight against Sauron. They wanted. They thought it was serious. It was laughable, man. Sarah Gould for $10 says, Arameo tried to pass off the kiss as a cultural thing. Arameo, that must be one of the actors, is it? Cultural thing, not a ruse. Still waiting for Pain to try to pass off all the Sauron aiding coincidence as Iroh getting rings to save the tree Amazon made up. Look, those showrunners will just make up crap. I'm actually really upset and surprised how dishonest those showrunners have been about this whole everything from the get-go. Charles Sapp, $5 says, can you do more reviews like this, but good ones instead? I highly recommend Freerian, Girls, and Panzer, and the Apothecary Diaries. I started trying out Freerian. Hasn't caught me yet, but I'm willing to give it a bit longer. It's not terrible, but if you're enjoying these types of reviews, I do want to do more of them. We'll see how we go, because Penguin's good. So I might have some streams about Penguin. Okay. As we were mentioning, that was all just a baited nothing burger for the whip. And then, we can take the noise off for now. And then Durin is like, oh no. Hey, UP Shoot for $5 says, sorry I'm late. Has Shad Mine been totally destroyed already? And has Elrond been cancelled for the kiss? He hasn't been cancelled yet. My mind is well and truly destroyed. I'm past feeling at this point. So look at Durin. He's ready to take on the Balrog. Is he insane? Really? When you see this thing, you're thinking, yeah, I can take it on. And so Durin is like, bring it on, Buster. And then, of course, he just gets hammered, knocked back. Magnus Ross for $20 says, when is Galadriel going to have an abortion? This show is an abortion. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Major's Guild for $10 says, The Door is Shut is a ripoff of The Passing of the Grey Company in Return of the King. The Way is Shut. It was made by those who are dead. The dead keep it. Yeah, right. They bet they are ripping that off. Good pickup, Major's Guild, and appreciate it. And he says the Penguin is good. 8 out of 10. I'm really enjoying the Penguin. Aha, there we go. Robert Arameo plays Elrond. Because I care so little about this show. This show is going to be forgotten. I care about calling it out. And I'm reviewing it while it's done. And after it's over, I am going to forget about it. It's hard to remember everything in this episode. I had to remind myself, oh yeah, Isildur's in this episode, wasn't he? I forgot about it. So darn forgetful. So Durin just gets knocked off his rocker. And then it's just like basically Balrog swinging stuff and rocks falling around him and the Balrog screaming. So nothing of any significance yet. They're both still reacting. So then King Durin, is struggling. He decides to take his ring off before all of this, right? There was the big exchange between him and his son telling him, take the ring off. The ring is bad, blah, blah, blah. You are stronger than it. You can do it, okay? Not even a glance, a glimmer of any indication that he was getting through to his dad. His dad was just not having a bar of it completely. Then they run into a Balrog. And you would think, there's a couple of desperate moments when, maybe using the ring to try and achieve a good, because these aren't the one ring, all right? The rings of power were used in the Lord of the Rings histories to achieve many things, okay? They had many important uses. And I find it funny because that concession is established in this episode by the end. Elrond makes the concession. He was all about the rings being bad, but to save Galadriel's life, he puts on one of the rings of power. And so they're actually like, to do something that the show wants to gaslight you to say is good, because saving Galadriel's life was so evil. No, let her die. She deserves it. They'll put on the ring to save Galadriel, right? And in the moment when you're now faced with a Balrog dude, maybe that ring might be useful. they haven't established what those powers that you are, but they did show him having some superhuman strength before, knocking his son or kicking from a six, and killing a heap of dwarves that were trying to stop him and stuff. So maybe using the ring here might be kind of, but no, he decides to take it off, and they don't really explain why. Is it because he's realizing, oh, yes, it's the ring's fault that the Balrog is here? No, the Balrog was there the whole time. The ring just made you want to dig deeper. And then that's the badness. And by taking off the ring, that will solve me wanting to dig deep. But guess what? The damage is already done. It's not going to undig the tunnel. What is being achieved in taking off the ring here, apart from perhaps committing suicide? Which is exactly what he does. This is what he does. He takes off the ring and goes to commit suicide. And I would be like, yes, it would be suicide. Okay. That's what would happen if you try and take on a Balrog single-handedly. The unbelievable thing, though, is that it seemingly works. Wait for it. King Durin's charge towards his death, right, seemingly stops the Balrog. Why? Don't know. They don't explain it. They have an explosion, and I don't know where the explosion came from, and the Balrog is not an issue anymore. And that's it. That's the Balrog. I'm not kidding. 2 seasons building up for this, and it's all it takes is a crazy dwarf guy to jump at it with an axe, and the Balrog is done. Not a problem. It's over. He probably will come back. They'll probably try to say there's still a looming threat, but come off it. Really? That's what you have with the Balrog? That's all you got? Oh my gosh. Wait till you see it, guys. It is amazing. Mages Guild for $2 says, in lore, the 3 were unsullied. Yes, the 3 rings are unsullied, but because they were made of the same craft that Sauron taught, they were still affected by the 1 ring when it was formed in terms of binding everyone together. But no, it didn't have his, it didn't have, Sauron didn't have a role in its creation. He just taught the craft. And as a result, the 3 rings are mostly safe, but in the show, they show them like tempting people still. Serum Productions for $2 says, please analyze the all and the final sword fights. I might have something special in the works regarding this final sword fight. It might involve a spiky crown. Wait for it. Wait for it. And subscribe to Shadiversity and keep an eye out on it. Mages Guild for $2 says, in lore, Durin's ring passes to your Thror and to Thrain. Aha. That is a good question, because it would not make sense for Durin, his son, to put on the ring. So he takes off the ring. Again, baffling as to exactly why. Okay. And then he decides to just yeet himself at the Balrog. So Durin's like, no! Don't! Look, we might need some sound just for this moment. Okay. And so they got the slow-mo. They got the thing. Watch this. This is special. Samuel Aratan for $49.99. Thank you, sir. I can't fathom how something this bad. Is your image Perrin Abara? Because I think I've seen that image, and I think it was of Perrin Abara. I can't fathom how something this bad was ever made. Top to bottom, it is total dog order. I agree. The script, casting, lighting, costume design, delivery, continuity, action sequences, score, pacing, and the underlining message of the story all bastardize. Right on. Right on. You hit the nail on the head, and thank you very much for the super chat. Piston, $2 says, I'll be back for 20 seconds in season 3 Balrog parody. Okay. So they are desperate for this moment to mean something. But remember, everything's meaningless. All this does is completely subvert and undermine the 2-season-long build-up of the Balrog. Okay? And then it's also undermined by the stupidity. How does Durin, who now does not have the ring, have any power to stop a friggin' Balrog? Like really? This should just be like an ant trying to stop a cow and just get stomped. Okay? I thought thought that was a Perrin Ibarra image. I recognize it. And so, listen, watch this. Slow-mo. And and look, we skip forward 10 seconds and they're still going. But it's this comical airtime he gets. Look at it. Look at Durin. It's just like fully there. But look, we might need to watch the whole thing because it is just funny. Durin the Younger is just watching. That face is a thumbnail face right there. It's like, hey, it's not like his, Dad, what are you doing? It's more like, hang on, what's going on? Like, am I seeing through the Matrix? Is reality breaking? This is not, no. Oh my gosh. Look at that hair tie. Look at his pose. It's just like, his legs are apart. He's got the axe. Durin. We never knew, yeah. Oh my gosh. Zodlander for 50 SEK says, because I like to look at axe designs, I checked Durin's axe head, and I noticed that the axe head changed when Durin is thrown back by the explosion. Look, I wouldn't put it past them. Their continuity consistency is dog crap. Like seriously, people are shot with arrows, and then from another angle, it's different arrows. And look, this show is made by amateurs, people that just, don't deserve that such a budget. All right, they need to get good at their job. So, like I said, this is funny. This is one of those, like, I told you this show is comically ridiculous at this point, and this episode tops it, tops everything before. Right. He's getting the twist. He's going for it. And so watch what happens. And I'm just thinking, what? So wait for it, right? Kaboom! Look at this, like, epic power explosion. And I'm like, hang on, what? What? Boom! And that seals, like, the Balrog in. Done. Balrog, not a problem anymore. Problem solved. And that's all you get. That's the Balrog. And then they cut to the intro. Aren't you glad you waited 2 whole seasons for that? Build up the threat that his Balrog will end up destroying Khazad-dûm. That was it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. I come on. Oh, Balrog don't need no dwarf. I don't know. Did the Balrog kill himself? Like I'm assuming that they're gonna have it that he just sealed him in that explosion. But King Durin is dead. Or is he? I've had people survive from worse. So we could just be hanging out with a Balrog next season. Oh, yep. Wait, Gandalf basically died battling a Balrog. Yeah, this is easy. I can't be like, that's what I mean. Maybe I could accept that something like this I could happen if he had the ring on, because the ring gives him some type of magical superpower, strength, or something. But then someone needs to get the ring. But all right, I could possibly entertain the idea that a ring bearer could either defeat a Balrog or subdue it or fight it back. But I don't really know what the rings do. And they shouldn't really give those type of powers. I mean, in the greater lore, the rings stayed off the decay of time. Okay, they didn't make someone a superhuman, to my understanding, because I've also heard people report that the rings enhance natural abilities. And so is that where it's coming from? But like, he doesn't even have the ring on. He's an average dwarf doing an airtime kamikaze jump, and he makes the Balrog explode. You saw it. There was an explosion there. I don't know why, but that was it. That was it. That's the Balrog. And wow. All right. There we go. Anyway, the intro, Rings of Power. So next scene. Okay. I can't even remember what this scene was. Is this discount? Oh, discount Gandalf. That's right. He's going, like, you can barely see him. Just make sure I'm up to date on my notes. Yep, Deez is there. I already covered that. Exploded from laughing. Yep. I think that is it. Yeah, does Durin do a rain of fire leap? That's basically it, except from, instead of viewing it from the front, you view him from behind. And it was a bit like Rain of Fire. He just gets totally destroyed after this big epic moment. Okay. All right. Okay. This is right. So sorry, I just remembered how he gets his name. It is as silly as everyone predicted. Probably even a bit sillier. But he gets his name this episode. Because anyway, discount Gandalf or not Gandalf arrives at the Halfwoods, and then the bad wizard guy just is there. And I was like, what? I thought he was sending the other guys and threaten the lives, but no, it's like, I guess they can't do the job, and so he's just there. And I was like, when did he get there? This seems a little, because this show is such dog crap at the passage of time, right? I don't know how far away the bad wizard's, place was. I thought it was still several days away. It wasn't just like, half an hour walk. But he's just there. Yeah. And I know, like, that's the direction. Like, what? Yeah, teleportation is canon in this series. That's what it seems like. They just appear wherever. Mage's Guild for $10 says, the rings have specific powers, and the great rings enhance the natural abilities of the wearers. It's complicated, and if you want to talk about it, I can explain it all. YouTube won't let me say on X. Maybe someday. But at the moment, focusing on it, but still, thank you very much for the input, Mage's Guild. And yeah, that's what I kind of heard. So, okay, that's why I could entertain a ring bearer perhaps taking on a Balrog. I mean, Gandalf is a ring bearer when he took on the Balrog in the Lord of the Rings. Piston for $2 says, "Son, hold my ring. I'm going to solo this monster." And Thomas V, $5 says, "The writer's logic. We wrote an antagonist too strong for us to figure out how to deal with them. Solution, make it suddenly randomly explode." And that's it, though. It's like, do you see what I mean when I say it's all meaningless? Like, you think it's an important moment. No, we'll just have it explode. Nothing matters in this show. Nothing matters. So, the bad wizard, wants to trick discount Gandalf. That is really, he wants to defeat Sauron too, which does not make sense. Like, all the things that they've been indicating with the cult he's a part of, it felt like they always worship Sauron. And yeah, he could be lying, but it actually, they actually make it seem like he legitimately does want to defeat Sauron. Because even when he leaves, he's like, "You will come to your senses, and if not, feel the bad things that will happen that if Sauron wins." All right. So it really feels like he actually does want to, and that feels like it contradicts all the things that they set up before. So the bad guys come in who have Nori and Poppy. Pretty dark. But do you see them off up there? That's the bad guys with Nori and Poppy, right? And so then the bad wizard basically like, kills them. He's like, you would not harm them. I didn't want you to harm them. Ready? Watch what happens.
King's wizard.
And so the wizard's like, take this. He's dead. Sorry. I laugh because this impact is not as forceful as the one that happened to the girl from the Ent. And he's dead, but she's fine. Major Good Fatula says, ere fighting, the Balrog drew and took off his ring. Yep. Why? And so after this guy dies, right, these guys were threatening to kill Nori and Poppy if they didn't get paid. And then the bad wizard kills the guy. And so you'd think that, all right, these evil bandit guys, they'll just then kill Nori and Poppy. But instead, no, they're like, run away! So that's him. That's his brain splattered. Okay. And they just like, time to go. Oh, like, all right, these, like, I don't think it makes sense with these evil bandit hunting people that it's like, pay us or we'll kill them. Wizard kills one of their friends, so they're going to run away. But in the motion of running away, they can easily just follow up with that threat, slice their throats, and they're the bad guys. You'd think they'd do it. But it's a bit of plot armor. It's like, no, they need to live. And it's because they were just so afraid. They know, like, I don't know. So they're gone. They run away. So the wizard is like, hey, you can trust me now. See, I'm a good guy. And then I'm trying to remember because, gosh, I just watched this, right? And I'm already forgetting stuff. Oh, okay. There was an interesting exchange. Let's see if we can get some of it.
And if you were to defeat Sauron.
Okay, hang on. We'll go back because I found it interesting.
Dark Wizard.
The Dark Wizard.
That is his name.
It's like, I'm not a Dark Wizard anymore. All right, let's see if we can get the dialogue.
That is what we're looking for out here all along.
Dark.
Okay. Careful of the copyright.
Wizard.
Tell me if the audio is loud enough and you guys can hear it clearly.
That is his name I do not embrace.
It feels like a complete backflip on everything that they were setting up of this guy.
Placed upon me by men long ago out of ignorance.
Yeah, I'm the good guy. It's so dark. Shame it can't hide crappy acting.
And fear of our kind. I hope.
All right, let's.
You pity him whose blade.
Okay, there's the line that it felt like kind of dumb.
Will lead you to know better of me.
Okay. We're almost there. Again, gotta start. All right, so Nori Poppy, they look at the dead guy.
This the sort of action you mean?
You pity.
So he's like, I don't know, where's my line? Basically, he was saying, you know, something along the lines of, I am not a bad guy. They say that I've done actions or something like that. And they look at the dead guy and it's like, is that the sort of actions you mean? And I think his response is actually kind of appropriate. It's like, they were threatening to kill you. Okay.
Pity him whose blade was at your throat.
So it's like, do you pity him whose blade was at your throat? Again, very wordy and convoluted. Are they wanting to sound Tolkienian? And then like, yes, I do pity. It's like, really? I mean, they were trying to kill you. They were ready to murder you. But all right, sure. All right, whatever. Now, then he basically says that I'm here to defeat Sauron. And then they ask him, do you want to be his successor? I was like, okay. And then it's like, he says we will both be his successors. Under what world do you think that that's the right way to convince, like, if he wanted them to not trust him, that's what you would say. Okay, this isn't the dialogue of a smart character trying to manipulate people when he just comes out and says, oh yeah, by the way, I am an evil bad guy. I was saying I wasn't, but I am an evil bad guy, and I want to replace Sauron, and I want you to join me. And it's like, what do you expect these people who pity the evil guys that had the knife to their throat that you just killed, okay? What do you expect they're going to respond with when you say that? And of course, they don't want a bar of it. And so he then goes berserk. Look at this. He is crazy powerful. He could probably just defeat Sauron himself. See this like mountain range, like, well, it's not a mountain, but it's like a rock face, okay? He destroys it into rubble. Watch this, just. And then is levitating the whole friggin' thing. It's like, holy, that is some next level magic. All the magic by Gandalf, by the way, is also next level. I actually was under the impression that he wasn't able to use that level of power, that he was limited in power when he was sent to Middle Earth. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was kind of my understanding. Anyway, this is crazy power. It's so much so that he could just like pick up Sauron and crush him. If he has his telekinetic power to break apart a massive rock face, he could just pick up Sauron, rip him limb from limb with a thought. But I guess no. Okay. He needs the other wizard's help. And then he's about to drop it on them all. And he has this line. I only okay, let's try and get that line.
I only hope losing those you care for
All right, so I only hope losing those you care for
most will give you a taste of the suffering.
Well, so only hope losing those that you care for. Let's check on the subtitles, right? Will give you a taste of the suffering that will happen if Sauron wins. And it's like, okay, interesting strategy. Don't think it would really work, but hey, he's just a comical bad guy. So that's his strategy. It's like, I will kill the ones you love until you join me, because that's the type of suffering that'll come upon everyone. Sure. When your senses have returned, I will be waiting. And that's the end. Remember this guy? Again, they tease him the whole season. That's it. He leaves, and you only see him once more looking at kind of the moon menacingly. He's like, I'm going to leave you now. I'm not going to kidnap. I sent people to kidnap you, right? Threaten the lives of your friends, to force you to come into my custody so I can force you to do whatever. He kind of has them at his mercy now. But instead of doing the very thing he's been trying to do the entire season, is like, no, you come to me when you want. That'll work. Okay, sure. Zodlander for 50 SEK. Will there be an EFAP of this whole season? In my opinion, Rings of Power would be perfect for Halloween, because it's like watching a murder of a writer. Got to go. Stay on watch. Thank you very much, sir. EFAP has been covering all the episodes, actually. They're doing 2 episodes at a time, and I've been enjoying their coverage. How evil! Yeah, his strategy. Now you can just try to come to me when you want, when your senses have returned. Even though, like I could just take you with me with my telekinetic power, real easy. I've been wanting to do it the whole time. I've been sending minions and everything after you. Now it's just gonna leave. That's it. And the rocks fall, and Gandalf stops the rock. Nori, don't do it, Nori! And he uses his his magic, and he holds up the rocks, and then they run away. Okay. And I thought they were actually showing a supposed fake out death here. Let's watch that and see if you get that impression too. Okay. He can barely hold on. He's barely holding the rocks up. Can you see the shadows of the rocks? Wait until the screen clears. There. Those are the rocks. Okay. And then the rocks fall. Okay. And you hear him like going, ah. Okay. And then, okay, and cut scene. And I was like, okay, so you're trying to fake out his death. Remember how I said nothing matters, though? What do you think, guys? What do you think is going to happen to discount Gandalf with that implication? With the supposed, the rock's falling on discount Gandalf. With the understanding that this show writing is dog crap, what do you think will happen with discount Gandalf? Okay. You shall not rock. Michael Bay explosion? Oh, no, not that. Remember, nothing matters. The rocks fall and everyone dies. If only. Better ending than what we got. Nothing. Remember, nothing matters. Yeah, literally. Next scene, he just walks in. It's fine. Nothing matters. I hate this show. Okay. Remember, there's another loose end we got to tie up. This show, I like the first 3 scenes of this episode. We got the dwarves. Oh, we got the Balrog. We need to deal with the Balrog. Let's do that. Oh, okay. Bad wizard. We've been teasing the entire season. Got to wrap him up. Numenor. Like, got to tie up that loose end. They're like speed running. And these are not payoffs. These are so sad and pathetic. And oh gosh, what happens in this scene is just retarded. It's so stupid. And they don't explain it. Again, nothing matters. All right. But I do find it funny that these side characters and side plots have been so pointless. They've only kind of forced it in out of obligation that, oh yeah, they were there last season. And then they don't have the talent to do anything interesting with them. Ramblings of an ADD writer. Member for 17 months. Dude, thank you very much. He says, thank you for surviving Rings of Power Season 2, Shad. Stay on watch. I will, sir. And you look like you are staying on watch. Member for 17 months, man. Thank you. Legend. UB Shoot for $5 says, all the people dying and then not taking the miracle out of Gandalf's return and rejoining the 3 hunters. Now he's nothing special at all. I think you're referring to the wizard guy. Okay, so all the people dying and then not taking, and then not takes the miracle out of Gandalf's return and rejoining the 3 hunters. Now has nothing special at all. Sorry if my brain is a bit fried from trying to get through this episode. Thank you for the super chat. I have trouble understanding what you're referring to. But that's my fault because my brain. It's just we'll get through it. We'll get through it. PL Hammerhand for 10 PLN. Season closure speed run any percent. Yeah, they're kind of speed running the gotta conclude the stuff with these people, okay? And what do you think is going to happen? Because remember what happened last episode? Muriel, big moment, sacrifice to a kraken, big sign that she's going to be the queen. All the Numenorians are like, she's the queen now. We got the sign from heaven. What do you think is going to happen now? It's another one of those moments, chat. What do you think? All right. Can you predict what they're going to do? Will Muriel become the new queen and Ar-Pharazôn is going to have to use some really important strategy to get it back, but it'll end on a high note or something like that? Well, that would only be the case if what happened in that, it wasn't last episode, the episode before then, right? If that mattered, okay, they are going to completely basically brush that under the rug. They have the dumbest excuse to just basically retcon it, all right? Because even though they had this big moment with Muriel facing the Kraken and all that, right? They know the overall story, Numenor becomes corrupted and Pharazôn becomes the ruler. So they need to basically undo what they did. And that's what this scene is. This whole scene is just to undo whatever progression that they had with Muriel in the previous Numenor scene. And so it was all pointless. It achieved nothing. What was it? You only had it there just because you needed something to happen with Muriel, right? And for her to basically take Elendil's balls away from him because he couldn't have the noble sacrifice. No, I'm not letting you sacrifice yourself for a woman. I'm the girl boss queen. got a sleigh. She's going to do it herself. All right. It's like these characters in the whole Numenor plot is meandering, pointless crap. And it's doubly emphasized with what's going on right here because they're just undoing what they've been trying to do. Yeah. They retcon themselves. Okay. Should have just befriended the Balrog. Now that's a good story. So, all the faithful, which is all the people that believe in the Valar, I believe, right? The queen is a member of the faithful. They're all called in. So these are like the priests and stuff. The girl, she was asked to bring them all in. She says she doesn't know why. Okay, so they're all there. And let's try and understand the logic here. We're not going to be able to because there is no logic, but still, you need to experience this. So Pharazôn comes in.
I thank you all for coming at this late hour.
To what?
And it's like, to what end? Why are we here? Okay.
We have learned
why Miriel
was able to bewitch the sea.
So, all right. So everyone, like, was on Miriel's side because the Kraken, bowed down to her, and I mean, Numenorians, they take like an eagle appearing was a sign of his royal authority. No one's claimed he bewitched anything, but no, it's the queen. She bewitched him, right?
It would seem she has an ally of cunning powers.
Sorry, this is cartoon writing. It would seem she has an ally of cunning powers. It's like Blackadder writing. I have a cunning plan. A cunning plan. I think I'm remembering right.
An ally who has already bruised Numenor once.
It's already bruised Numenor once.
And is now gathering strength to make us bleed.
Do you see the tortured metaphors, man? They're so desperate to sound Tolkienian, but they're just it's vapid crap. And it feels so unnecessary. It's like, if I was listening to someone like, okay, you sound like an idiot that's trying to present themselves as intelligent. Like an idiot trying to pretend to be smart by using really bad metaphors. He's bruised us once, but now he will make us bleed. Right, like it is absurd. This is all right. You would need some massive evidence to try and substantiate this. Okay,
the Sea Queen has no allies but the Valar who
uphold her. Right, so it's like no, bad thing. So Pharazôn gives him a letter, right, and he reads the letter, and I have a suspicion that they actually don't they have purposely not explained the justification for it because they know they couldn't think of a reason that would make sense. And so as a result, they don't give any reason. All that happens, he reads this, right? And he says this. Sauron? And so that means we're supposed to take from that must be revealing, because it says like this ally had bruised Numenor already, meaning he'd been in Numenor. So they know Sauron was in Numenor, therefore they know Halbrand is Sauron. Where the hell did they get that knowledge? Seriously, right? Like, who did someone send them a letter? Because no message was getting out of the elves. Did the elves just send a letter to everyone? No, they were only trying to get a message to Celebrimbor that Halbrand was Sauron. But okay, they must have sent a letter to Numenor. That's the only explanation, even though they don't actually try to explain. All is like, Sauron. This isn't the worst part, okay? This is justification for Pharazôn to now depose the queen, okay, and arrest every member of the faithful in the city. And I'm like, what? How does he get there? This is nonsense. But I don't know. The show just goes ahead. It's like, it was Sauron. And now, all you guys.
All so-called faithful are
now declared, right?
Traitors.
Traitors? Like, how They didn't know he was Sauron. How come they're traitors? This is retarded. Muriel didn't know who he was either. They don't have any evidence for any of this, but they're just pulling it out of their asses like, yeah, this is enough. Like, you're all traitors. Arrest everyone, and now I can be king. Numenor deserves to be sunk into the ocean. Let it all get destroyed, because it is such a stupid group of people and dumb nation. They deserve to die, because if they had any brains, the people would be like, hang on, you can't just usurp the queen based on this accusation with no evidence. Like, get stuffed. But it's just like, no, I'm king now, and I'm gonna all the army, they just are gonna obey him, and they can arrest everyone in all the faithful in the city. Even though the only type of thing you might be able to establish is like Halbrand was counseling with the queen to take Numenor off to fight in the Southlands, right? But how is that related to all the faithful in the city and these religious leaders? There's no connection. But they're like, yep, you're all traitors now, because this other random guy that were just, by the way, what evidence do they have that is Sauron either? It's on a message, like, you know, big claims need kind of big evidence to substantiate. There was just this random guy who wanted to work a forge that have more evidence that Galadriel was Sauron because of how evil, and she was acting like such a condescending jerk to everyone. If they told them that she was Sauron, I reckon that would have more weight, and people would believe that more than Halbrand. He was just like a random nobody. Kamen Rider KFE $5 says, if that letter came from the elves, then how did it even get there if they have been turning away all elven ships and have barred them from the city? Thank you. Good question. And why the hell would they trust anything elves say? They hate elves. They don't trust anything. Muriel was supposedly deposed because she was taking advice from the Palantir, which was an elven artifact. And so by the logic that she was deposed by taking counsel from supposed elves, and they have a letter from elves that is now using, he should be deposed on that same logic. This is all retarded crap. But nothing matters. They're just like, yeah, this is the... You're right. It makes no freaking sense. It is pathetic nonsense writing. Okay. But that's it. Yeah, my brain cells suffered heavily because of this nonsense. Oh my gosh. But and then everyone's stuff, they write that, they nail that letter everywhere. Of this hour, all loyal Numenorians are called upon to oppose this threat. You don't have any evidence. Like, it's bull crap. But the show is just going along with it, saying, yeah, trust us, bro. This is it. So this is how they are wrapping up the whole Numenorian plot of this season. You get a random letter from elves that they not even supposed to supposedly trust. It tells that Halbrand was Sauron, even though all they say is Sauron. They don't say, oh, the random smith. Or it's like, Sauron. What does that mean? Sauron what? Sauron was picking his nose on the other side of the world? What does it mean? But no, they're just saying that just means all you guys are traitors, and you're all getting arrested, and they're all getting round up, and Pharazôn is now king. It's like, piss off. And the daughter's now sad because she's, complicit in this, which she is. She's a friggin' traitor. She's the real traitor. She is. Okay. And she goes to her dad, and she's like, you got to leave the city because they're all after you. Okay. It's all bad. And man, what an awful character she is. She deserves to die as well. Magnum Norse for $5 says, these Tardos don't understand heroism. Galadriel is now a dumb woman. Yeah. Everyone's dumb in this show. So anyway, he runs away. Soldier comes up. Is there anyone in there? She says, no, there's not. Are you going to deny the authority? I'll tell the king. And he walks away. And there is something here. Something happens here that probably shouldn't anger me as much as it does. But it does. They don't deserve this. I was like, how dare they presume to show where this item comes from? This is another one of those abominations. Like, get that sacred object out of your friggin' hands, you piece of crap of a show. You don't deserve it. You'll see what I'm talking about soon. So he's there with the queen saying, we've got to run away. And she's basically like, no, I'm not running away because I'm going to stay. My place is here. You know it is. But you get lost. Your future thing. And yeah, you know what it is, right? They have Narsil. Ready? There's it.
If not with you.
All right. Yeah, they like, how dare they? Wait for it.
It is called Narsil.
Narsil. They've always got to roll the R's. Yeah, like, oh, tell you, I was like, get stuffed. Don't you friggin' dare. You presumptuous bastards. This is like this is where Narsil comes from, everyone. Oh my gosh. This is Narsil. They must have paid through the either they had an agreement because they don't own that design. All right. Whoever owns the rights to the Jackson trilogy owns that design, and they must have given them an okay for it to appear because it just means they could probably keep selling more replicas. It's like free promotion, or they had to pay through the nose to have it appear. And it's not even a 1-for-1 copy. There are replicas out there. Okay, now it's close enough to the design that they must, like, I'm pretty sure they would have had to have gotten permission or have a license for it to appear. But if you're going to have it so close, just have the replica appear. But anyway, yeah, they got Narsil there. They don't deserve it. Mage is good for $2. I will try to get a photo shoot of the hoodie. Legend, dude. Share it on Twitter. Love to see it. Yeah, Shadowversity/Night's Watch hoodies are shipping out. People are getting them, and they are really good, high quality, good stuff. Awesome to see people getting them. Super chat from Andrew Valdez, $4.99. Watch the Wild Robot, and I would love for you to review that really great movie. Everyone should watch that instead of this. Haha. Same with the Penguin. Penguin's good. Wild Robot, I don't even think I've heard much about that. But still, thank you very much for the super chat. Okay. Probably just stole the design. Man, if they did, they deserve to get sued through the nose. So, yep, it's Narsil. This is where he gets it, and he picks it up.
Reclaim your lordship.
Reclaim your lordship. And is that the whole purpose of the Numenor plot? Just to have, like, the origin of Narsil, something that they don't deserve for it to appear? Carmen Ryder KFP, $5 says, in this scene, Elendil mentions going to meet his son, Anarion, when in season 1 they said he has only 2 kids. Where did the 3 come from? Good bloody question. Good question. Nothing matters. They don't care. They don't care about continuity. Cara Frey Kitty, $5 says, is this show an April Fool's joke that got out of hand? Man, that amongst many explanations I would almost just accept at this point. Because we are in realms of such laughable stupidity. It's hard to believe that they could be oblivious to it. I almost feel like they're punking us. It's all a prank on us. But no, this is the thing. Never underestimate the depths of human incompetence. Because that honestly explains so much of it. This is written by incompetent hacks that think that they're good. They've probably gotten participation trophies. They got hired on checkboxes and not, qualifications or merits. And everyone around them were just giving them a, celebrate, clap. You're wonderful. You're perfect the way you are. You don't need to improve. And so this is participation award stuff. Yeah, right. This is the whole plot, the origin of the sword, and oh my gosh. Super chat from Senior Jessica for 199. Sorry, I'm late. I was busy helping boats look up. That's what boats do. They look up. Yeah, I don't think it's satire. I actually do think that they're serious and they think this is the best that they could do. This is the best they could do. So there we go. We get well. Look, I reject that origin of Narsil. I reject this being canon. I rejected that it's Lord of the Rings. This is bad fan fiction made by cynical people with nefarious motives. That's what this is. Magnum Norse for $10 says it's a prank bow. They locked you into a COVID house, bro. And Senior Jessica for 999 says, but Shad, there was this dumb thing in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Therefore, any criticisms of Rings of Power is invalid. Clearly, the only reason you're criticized is because of bigotry. Checkmate. Like, that's hilarious when they try and point out, like, oh, there was this silly thing in Lord of the Rings. And yeah, Lord of the Rings has some silly stuff in it. All right. I don't deny that. Just means that they're both silly. But the quantity and level of stupidity in Rings of Power is orders of magnitude more than anything in Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings has phenomenal moments. Really, like, it's an absolutely amazing series. But they will try and excuse the crap in Rings of Power by pointing out a couple of occasional silly moments in the Jackson trilogy. Mage's Guild for $10 says, I am far past the point of blaming this on incompetence. It is deliberate, in my opinion, an intentional destruction of Tolkien. They hate his works and message. They know, but hate Tolkien's ethos. I think that there is absolutely an element of willful malice, because I think they look at this and they see there are problematic elements in there. We got to remove that, and they take it out with a sense of kind of sadistic glee that they get to correct it for their modern audience and their ideology, right? And yeah, I feel that is a massive sign of malice. And they're being very clear. They said that the promotion for season 1 that they changed things to suit a modern audience, right? They needed to reflect the modern world. It's intent. So those things, yeah, are intentional. I agree with you there. Yeah, it's absolutely intersectional lensed. Absolutely. And there are signs of it all throughout. Like, do you know the reason why Pharazôn doesn't force Muriel to marry him? Okay, because that's taking away her agency. Can't have that. All right. That's problematic. All right. Galadriel having feminine power and not a girl boss who's killing a troll and showing up. Well, I mean, that's all modern, destruction of traditional femininity and everything. So many of the male characters being pussified idiots. And of course, all right, changing the demographics of the races and cultures, all to match a modern interpretation, because they have an issue with this stuff. I mean, they'll never do that to, stories that come from Africa or Asia or stuff like that. But if it comes from, European culture, well, we've got to get rid of all the straight white men in it. Not all of them, but, they always want to change it, okay? Because they have, I know it's unrelated, but it is related to the overall culture. They changed Anne Boleyn, one of the whitest women of all history, right? And they made her dark-skinned in one of the adaptations. It's like, you just have a malicious disdain for European history, but they wouldn't dare do it to a historical person of a different culture or background, wouldn't they? There is absolutely maliciousness in it. All right. The orcs are all up in Eregion now. This was them climbing over the wall, okay, because the battle's ongoing. Wow, the whole battle episode of last episode is just so bad. Like, I've done a deep dive on Shadiversity just looking at the battle tactics and stuff, and there's more I could point out. Like, the fact that throughout the entire episode, barely any orcs actually get on top of the walls when there's barely any elves on the walls defending them. And they have ladders against the wall and no orcs are going up. And there's like a sea of orcs on the battlefield outside. Now they're finally getting up on the wall. They could have been jumping up like this, like from the moment they reach the walls, but it's all crap. Senior to Jessica for 190 says, Sauron, time to put my blood in Narsil. Probably would. Probably would. Excuse me for a minute. Need to take a drink. Yeah, that siege engine, man. No, not Glug. Yeah, you've seen ahead of time what happens. All right, so now they let the orcs in. The orcs that are just want to chill in Mordor. They don't want to go to war. Well, now they look at how war hungry they are. They're having such a blast of a time. They're having a great time. Liam Del for $2 says the walls that were not there in season 1. Yep, season 1, no walls around Regium. Mages Guild for $2 says Netflix Cleopatra was protested by Egypt. Yeah. Rest in peace, Glug. That was funny, man. That was funny. So the orcs are coming in and they're just having a great time pillaging. Elves are dying, killing and everything. But then, you know who's not dying? You know who it is. It's Galadriel. All these orcs, they're going around. Wait for it. It's her moment. Bang! And look, just casually walking, okay? And does another orc appear? From memory, I thought. Oh, yeah, here's an orc. Doesn't even face the person with the sword. Like, he walked in and he saw Galadriel was holding a sword. I'm going to turn my back to the person holding a sword and try and get this other woman and let Galadriel just stab me. This bloody friggin' show, man. It's all so tediously bad. So an orc let Galadriel kill him because, you know, he's an idiot. Another orc, like, let me give you a free shot, Galadriel. I'll just stand right open, right there. Oh, and I won't even bother. Like, I had my hand there. I could have, even while getting stabbed, if I wanted to, I could have killed you because she was wide open. But no, I'm just gonna let you live because you got plot armor. And the show is trying to present it like, look how tough Galadriel was, taking out all these orcs. They committed suicide effectively. They basically run onto her sword. UP Shoot $5 says, if that other elvish girl had been like Galadriel, she would have survived falling from the wall and the orcs' axe as well. You're right. Galadriel's just invincible. She can't die. And, you know, she wasn't even wearing the ring when she fell off the cliff in this episode. So that shouldn't have been able to save her. Not a single broken bone. She would have been paste. Oh, my gosh. Mages Guild of $5 says, this finale is just the Acolyte set to Tolkien. Gosh, the Acolyte was the worst thing I'd seen up to the point when it came out. Is it worse? It's hard. It's like trying to choose what's a more stinky turd. You know, they're both turds. So, all right, and this is funny. Funny because of how stupid it is. So Galadriel is leading out some people because she knows the secret passages. And so it pans up, right? Like, it gives you a big sweeping shot of Eregion, shows you that cliffside mountain behind Eregion that, you know, the orcs could have easily hit with their artillery level trebuchets and just collapsed everything behind and caused an avalanche and killed us. You know, like that could be really useful in taking out Sauron like that. So much stupidity. But that's a long way to travel. We're talking kilometers, right? Miles. Going all the way upstairs, climbing a cliff face, right? So that should take hours, if not maybe a day, to pass through all of that, all while trying to avoid, you know, orcsies and stuff. But she comes out at the top. Willie Yamuna for $10 says, just got here. You mean to tell me that one of the worst series in cinematic history has a bad ending? Insert surprise face meme here. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Like, that's one of the things I've been noticing a lot with these horribly written shows, especially Rings of Power Season 1. But of course, Acolyte, Obi-Wan Kenobi, WandaVision, all the Marvel shows and everything like that, they can't stick the landing. The endings suck so much in all of them. And it's clear to see why. When you have such bad writers, okay, finishing a story in a satisfying way is one of the trickier parts of the craft of writing. So when you have bad writers, the results are usually the worst parts are the endings because they don't know how to do it right. And in this, they've basically given up. Like I said, there's laughable nonsense in this where they just don't care. Galadriel, she falls off a cliff. She's like, remember Arondir got stabbed multiple times? He's not even injured. They don't give a crap now. It's like, oh, we got to end it. What about the Balrog? I know, we'll have Durin jump at him and there'll be a fart explosion and the Balrog don't need to worry about it anymore. What? What about the Numenorians? They'll have a letter saying that Sauron was among them, and that means the king can tell everyone are traitors and arrest them all. Who's coming up with this crap? But they don't have the talent to be able to resolve the story, not even in just a satisfying way. They can't even avoid doing it in a not retarded way because they're horrible at this. Horrible. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Senior Jessica for 199 says, the trebuchets are on cooldown. What happened? You're right. They could still be using them. MJUK84 for £5. Thank you very much. Says, for your suffering, Shad, get some Bundaberg ginger beer. I might do that. I think that is pronounced Hellbound for €10. I get euros and pounds mixed up, but thank you very much for it. I just want to say I've been enjoying your content for years, totally nerded out with the UK Castle videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, mate, and thank you for the stream. I appreciate it. Okay, so up at the top, she comes out up at the top, right? And wouldn't you know it, dang nabbit, okay, think they're home free, right? They got out the secret entrance, Galadriel, and oh no, there's orcs just waiting there for him. I'm like, what? Where did they come from? They were just hanging out at the top in case, they're not even supposed to know of these secret entrances. This screws up so friggin' much. If they knew of a secret entrance from a cave up at the top of this cliff, they didn't even need to siege the friggin' city. They could have all just piloted through there. How did they find out about it? They don't show that they follow, so it's like they were just waiting there. That means they knew about it the whole friggin' time. Piss off. My pen went over there. Now I don't know. Wait, I got a replacement. I'm actually looking for this. This is a useful pen. I'm glad that happened. I'm glad I threw my other pen. Screw that other pen. I got a better pen. So there. What was I saying? Yeah, the friggin' orcs. They just knew about it the whole bloody time. Oh, come off it. Yep. You realizing it? Yep. They knew the secret entrance all along. This show is so friggin' stupid. Magnum Norse at $10 says Galadriel, who now spends her time on the front lines because her agency would be taken from her if she was smart. The smartest, most beautiful woman on earth is now the dumbest person on earth. Amazingly dumb. Thank you for the super chat. Senior Jessica, Sauron, all according to the plan. And ironically, that's what they say. Galadriel tells Sauron, "You planned this all along," and he's like, "Oh, hardly." But they try to apply that this was all Sauron's plan. No, Sauron is so dumb. You get it? Well, they just stopped giving any F's. That's exactly what I mean. That's what I mean about the title of this stream. It's all meaningless. They don't. They just don't give a. They're not even trying. Though they're trying really hard in the areas that don't matter, and the areas that do matter, they don't give a crap. So yeah, it's like orcs. They just do the secret entrance. They're there. They capture Galadriel, and Galadriel says, "Set them free, and I will go willingly." Let's listen to her. Right?
And I will go willingly.
Give me one reason.
All right, and so this reason. So also tedious because, like, she doesn't need to say this, but she's like, "Holy crap!" What she's like, give me one reason.
I will give you 9.
It's like, I'll give you 9. It's like that's basically saying, yeah, I've got 9 rings of power on me. You know, the whole thing that Sauron was like, just, you know, he's torturing Celebrimbor right now to find out where these rings are. Okay, really important, crucial information they need to get for Sauron. And Galadriel just spills it right here. Yeah, I got the rings. I'll give you 9 rings, and like, you probably could have saved them without betraying the super doomsday weapons the devil is after. Did you see the elf's expression in the top left? She's like trying not to smirk. Sorry, it's a funny expression. But it's full screen. Do you see that? That one right there. It's like, anyway, I just found that humorous. So yeah, I got 9 reasons. And then it's like, she actually like, I got the rings of power right here. Sorry, this is funny. Why? What are you doing, Galadriel? You friggin' retard. Stop doing. Oh my gosh. I'll give the rings. Like Celebrimbor sacrificed his life to try and hide these from the enemy. Right? And Galadriel's just like, here you go. What are you doing? Oh, gosh. Well done. And good how the orcs even know what they are, but it seems like they do. There's like, oh, yeah, look, he knows what they are. Look at him. Because that's the thing. It's like, all right, yep, that's enough reason. We'll let them go and we'll take you into custody. But what's hilarious, right then, they don't tell Adar or Sauron. Like, this orc guy, that's the first thing he should report when he brings Galadriel in. And when we get there, he doesn't mention it at all. It's like, you know, he's just got the friggin' 9 rings, you moron. But he doesn't mention it. It's like the contrivances in this writing. Okay, so now this is like, sorry, I just don't care, because I shouldn't find it funny that Sauron is using Celebrimbor for target practice, but he is. It's like, I just hate the character, okay? It's just they're picking him with. All right, and he looks like he was sleeping so peacefully. All right, let me just make sure we're up to yep, Brimbor target practice right there. Celebrimbor is supposed to be a warrior, remember? And they've made him look so pathetic. Such a pathetic, weak character. I'll leave Brimbor alone. Stop it. He should be dead after 3. Yeah, I know. Oh, maybe he was not aiming for the vital organs, right? Yeah, he's basically a grandma. He's supposed to be a warrior. He's supposed to be Celebrimbor, man. This is Brimbor, just not Celebrimbor. He's a false, fake imitation. This is I think the main reason that's causing my brain rot is I'm trying too hard to make sense of it when it's impossible, because there is no sense in it. You just can't make sense of stupidity. Oh, you're right. Do not insult grandmas. My apologies. Chris Walker for $2 says she could have said that she only has 1 ring. She could have said any number of reasons. She could say, look, the enemy They want me. All right. How about this? I won't kill some of you in the process. I'll come peacefully if you let them go. And they know she could kill, like, I was going to say 10 of them. She could probably kill all of them if the script wanted to. She's that much of a girl boss, right? But that threat alone could have been enough. As like, all right, we'll let them go. You just come in because our boss wants to see you. Senior Don Justica, Orc News Network. This just in. Twistgut makes bipartisan deal with elves to secure power rings. What are those? More at 11. Yeah. All right. So Sauron, again, is trying to get Brimbor to tell him where the rings are. And it's convoluted. They talk about a lot of different stuff. He pities you, the fire that crafted the marvels of the age. For soon I shall go to the shores of the... So yes, he's going to die soon. And then he says something that ticks off Sauron. Must I show you my mastery of that craft as well? And Brimbor's like, you are not... In fact, he has a bit of an odd line. Okay. Betray hand that forges it. So let's listen to this because it's got some interesting, convoluted dialogue that I always like to kind of showcase. Okay, so the other craft that he threatens him with, I think, is like, torture. It's like, gotta be careful of copyright.
Must I show you my mastery of that craft as well?
All right, so it's like, I can show you the mastery of making you feel pain. Lots of pain. And then Brimbor's like, his response is nonsense, but he effectively says, right, treachery will end up betraying him. Ha ha ha. Don't believe me? Listen to it. Your only craft is treachery.
So pure it shall betray the very hand that forges it.
Your only craft is treachery, so pure it shall betray the very hand that forges it. Which is effectively him saying, treachery will end up betraying you. Do we see the wisdom and depth of this dialogue? Right? This is so... Yeah, right? Treachery will betray him? Shock. They so want to be smart, but they're not. And so when they try to say something with depth or meaning, it's just babble. It's retarded, babbling nonsense. Tortured metaphor. This show is filled with it. And the very first lines of this show in season 1, why does a boat float and a rock sink? A boat looks up and a rock looks down. It's that. But we still get it. We still have that quality level of writing. Treachery is your only craftsman and it will betray you. The show is always right. G'day to you, sir. Well, thank you for joining us. So that ticks off Sauron. I alone shall prove your utter ruin. And so Sauron stabs him, lifts him up, Celebrimbor dies.
Lord.
Oh, and they have the line ready. You think what's the lead? It's like,
You are the
prisoner. He's saying the rings will imprison you, and that doesn't even make sense. He says the rings of power will destroy you, and this is him saying like you will be the prisoner of the rings. Like, no, that's actually not how it works, though. He uses the rings to enslave everyone else. So even this doesn't make sense and is end up nonsense. And then he like sees into the future and he says that there will be one person that will defeat you in the future. And he basically like predicts Frodo. That's what they're trying to hint at and foreshadow. And that ticks off Sauron. And that's why Sauron like skewered him. And then they have to do it. You will be the prisoner to the rings, Sauron. Ready? Wait for it.
Lord.
Copyright. He said it. He said it. This is not Lord of the Rings. Stop gaslighting me. I will not accept it. Oh my gosh. Same energy as Diablo 4. My lord, Balal, Lord of Lies, betrayed me. I can't believe it. My lord, Balal, Lord of Lies. Nothing of value was lost. Yep. Look, it's not really roll credits. It's not really the title drop. I do not. Like this. There's a reason why I only refer to this show as Rings of Power in the titles of all my reviews and something like that. And I do not call this Lord of the Rings because it is not. This is not Lord of the Rings. Please clap. Like, you are the Lord of the Rings. I know. It's like, give me a break. Oh my gosh. This is a good point. It's not clever to name drop the franchise name. It shows how desperate they are. Yes. 100%. Yep. Because it's fan fiction trash. You are the Lord of the Rings. And then the Orcsies come in. And remember this guy? Grug? Isn't his name Grug? It's like, are you him? Are you Sauron? It is. I can't look. They have Sauron crying after he kills Celebrimbor. It's like, they're so desperate to make him appear to have depth. Look at how conflicted he is. This guy is a shell. All right. There's no real character here. It's just all posing and like, oh, yes, remember, he's really conflicted about it. It is Glug. Yeah, this show gives fan fiction a bad name. But sounds like I've been known by many names. All right. Let's hang on. We'll go back because I want to hear what Glug said. Wow. There's a lot of just stretching out silence with trying to have like music hanging in the air. Drags it on.
What is yours?
Well, I've been known by name. I say, yeah, what is yours? Uruk. Now, bear in mind, right? The orcs hate Sauron. They all killed him, stabbed him in the back, and it was shown beyond any, challenge, right? You can't contest this fact. Sauron had not the ability to control the orcs. He couldn't mind control them. Like, he was clearly in their presence for a long time, right? And he needed to try and entreat them, convince them to go aside. And remember, this is all back in episode 1. Wow, feels like a long time ago now. Where it was like, many of you will die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. It's effectively what he was saying. It's like it was the dumbest speech to get the orcs on his side, right? And they killed him. So he'd like, remember, that doesn't matter now, though. You know what they're going to do? They don't care about that. They don't care about contradicting themselves. Buddy Rap, $5 says, never forget, Tolkien said Sauron was as close to the holy evil as is possible. But this show, Rings of Power, wants Sauron to be just, a misunderstood bad guy, sympathetic. They want you to, identify with Sauron, who's effectively Satan. Think about that. Think about that. This show wants the audience to identify with Sauron. And I said the themes of this show are evil. All right, so Glug is like thinking about it. Remember, like these guys, totally forgettable. Oh my gosh. Shad is my full name, but it does come from Shadrach in the Bible. And so you could say it's short for that, but my full name is not Shadrach, even though it is my namesake. Remember these guys? Yeah. Theo's back. because we really cared about Theo. We need conclusion. We need resolution on what happens to Theo. And Elendil? He's Elendil? No, he's Isildur, isn't he? I get him mixed up. This is right. Who gives a crap about Theo? This whiny, annoying, bratty idiot. Anyway, Isildur might be leaving. Theo's like giving him a big hug. It's like, hang on, you didn't even like the guy. You weren't friends or anything, but now they want to pretend like there's a deep relationship here that we should care about. It's like, get stuff. Yeah. All right. Then so he leaves, and guess who comes back? You remember?
You can set it up there.
It's the girl. The girl that they were having. Now, remember, she's married, okay? And the whole thing of trying to hide the fact that she made the vow to Adar, and maybe that she did the vow in the first place, everything, and she was walking through the wilderness, was searching for her husband. She risked her life, everything, all of this, to search for the husband. Isildur's about to leave, and I couldn't believe that they did this.
When he laid the cornerstone.
And by the way, this is her saying how much her husband loves her. That her husband laid the cornerstone and said something about that it's a sign of their everlasting love. He says, like, I'm happy for you.
I always thought his kindness was what love.
And so then she says, right, always thought his kindness was love felt like, and basically, until I met you. You adulterous two-timing whore. Are you kidding me? You're like, no joke. She's like, stuff my husband who's building a house for me, right? I got the hots for you now. And this scummy bastard is all on board with it. It's like, dude, she's married. Great. I hate these characters enough already. I was like, no, you don't hate them enough. Let's make you really, really hate them. Right? Yeah, it's like 100%. Mage's Guild for $2 says, worse than Elrond, Galadriel. Yeah, this relationship is forced and pathetic. Modern times, huh? Yes, this is the morality of the writers of this show, right? Who cares about, the commitment and a sacred vow of marriage, right? And even though they showed that she was sacrificing a lot, screw all of that. They got the hots for each other. Let's just gonna jump on him and leave. Women can't be contained, just like the sea. Oh, modern day writers for you. No honor or loyalty. Yeah, women. How dare anyone impose upon them or take away their agency? She can, leave the devoted husband that's building a house for her. Straight, like, unironically, she's an adulterous whore. Get stuffed. And then they want us to care about this relationship and feel like, oh, we really want to see them get. No, I don't. I want to see her sunk in the bottom of the ocean. The friggin', I was this close to dropping the B word. Sometimes I get pushed over the line, and I'll say it now and then because she's that. Buddy Rap $5 says they want Sauron to be a Luciferan tragedy, the same way they misunderstand Paradise Lost. John Milton did not write sympathetic Satan. I hate this. Me too, mate. Me too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Someone says, I lost the chat, but someone said poor husband. Like, yeah, there it is. Poor husband. Like, and he seems like an actual devoted, decent guy. What? If she gets pregnant, that means this cheating whore is Arrogant's ancestors. No, get stuffed, and they would do that, wouldn't they? This friggin' show, I hate it, man. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, this is, I can't believe this. But that's the resolution for this story. Is like they're basically teasing that they're gonna get together, and yeah, they full on like, screw my husband, let's commit adultery, let's get it on. And the show wants us to be invested in this. Get stuffed. Yeah, wouldn't put it past the show to do that, man. You're right. Oh my gosh. I hate it. I hate this show. Remember this a-hole? Remember this scumbag, dirtbag? Well, he's now crossed the ocean. Teleportation. He's just there. When did he leave? Like, all right, sure, whatever. Senior Justica for 1 hour. Aragon. I came from a line of kings and wars. Smegheads for $5 says, for you watching this garbage, so we didn't have to. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Oh, you need to write an essay about this. I'm so done with this attack on morals, right? It's all moral relativism, okay? If it makes them happy, how dare anyone criticize them if it makes them happy? Because they don't want to believe in objective truth and objective morality. It's all relativistic nonsense of whatever makes them happy. They're all hedonistic pleasure seekers, right? It's all about power and success and all that, and just pleasure and fun for them. So this guy teleports across the ocean. Again, perfectly in line with this show. And he arrives to be an arsehole, because that's what his character is. His character is now just the a-hole. And I think this is the husband right here, by the way, a really decent guy who is also like part leader of the set town. Theo mentions how much of a decent guy he is.
Was Bronwyn? Of course she was.
And who are you?
He's the leader of half the colony.
Half the colony, right?
He's helped me uphold the agreement we made with your...
So he's doing a good job, right? But nah, screw him. She's got the hots for Isildur, and they're just gonna stuff him. And I think they even say that in front of him. Kel Dutweird, sorry, horrible pronunciation. For £2 or euros? Pounds. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Classic song. Thank you for the super chat. Oh my gosh. So anyway, Isildur wants to take him. Take her with him. Yeah, so there's room on the ship. You can take me back to Numenor. Yeah, there should be no more trouble to take this two-timing adulterous cow with me. And by the way, right, so he basically just said, oh, yeah, I'm taking her with me. She looks over, and the husband's like, what? And he just kind of rolls over. He's like, oh, okay, then. You're wanting to leave me, right? And he doesn't even object. He's just like, you, all right? And that's kind of it. He doesn't even just say, hang on a second. Are you doing what? And what's hilarious about this, the guy says no passage for low men, meaning, commoners, right? And so she doesn't even get to go with him in the end, and he leaves her. She declares her love for him to get a ditch her husband, which is disgusting and low, right? And then even after all that, he leaves her. She doesn't even get to go with him. You get what you deserve. Your husband should totally leave you after this. Get stuffed. I'll build a house with someone who deserves him. Oh my gosh. We are Harbringer for $2 says just arrived. How bad is it so far? Better than dude. This is the worst, man. Dawnbreaker for $2 says he sits in the cuck chair in the corner. It's like that. Oh my gosh. I remember this whole thing with the refugees. This is the conclusion of that story. This is like the big payoff. Isildur wanting to shack up with a married woman and take her with him and then ditching her. Mages Guild $5 says, where there's a whip, there's a way. It's a classic from the 1980s Rankin Bass Return of the King. Rankin and Bass Return of the King. I do not know it, unfortunately. Maybe I've actually heard it, but didn't register the name. Still, thank you for the super chat. And so, yeah, you can't come. And look, the husband's just there like, are you serious? You're just gonna leave me high and dry?
I survived an eruption.
And he's not even saying anything, right?
My sister's a guild member.
And anyway, he gets shut down. It's like, look, I still hate the guy because he's an AO. Because he's just like, no for the sake of no. Isildur gets ticked off and like, look, we'll kill you if you object. You need our supplies, so you're going to do what you're told. Suck it is basically his result. And I seriously doubt that the townspeople would bow down to this guy's authority so willingly. It's just like, I'm the commander now. It's going to be an outpost. Screw you all. Okay. Any lowmen wishing to remain here is going to do slave labor for us. And if not, we're not going to feed you. Give us your timber or your stuffed. And I'm thinking like, I don't think these people would bow down to that at all. But anyway, the show doesn't care. That's exactly what happens. The husband's just look at his face. He's just like, I can't believe I married this. Like, what is he doing with his life? He's in shock. He's like, what just happened? And that's that scene. They had to do it. They had to make sure they assassinate Isildur's character even more so. This girl is the future wife of Isildur 100%. I bet you're right. I bet you're right. Oh my gosh. So this is actually the mountaintop on top of Eregion. And Adar is just hanging out. I thought they showed Adar rushing into the city last episode. They don't care about continuity. No, he's just left the siege. Still going on, remember? Orcs are still fighting and dying. He's just pissed off. He's on the top and he's hanging out because now he has the ring and the ring has healed him. Remember, he stole Galadriel's ring that Elrond had and now he is wearing it. And oh my gosh, right? I thought that they were going to do it. They didn't. But wow, I thought that when he turned, right, that Galadriel would recognize that it's Celeborn, her husband. And that she couldn't recognize him because of all the scars. And I thought they were actually going to do it. They don't. Oh, but when the reveal, it was just like, I couldn't, because they even say, like, she asked, what was your name? What was it? When I looked like this, I was known by another name. And I really thought, I was like, the name was Celeborn. And she was like, no, they don't. Whew. Close though. Yeah, now they want sexy Adar. Okay. Adar is the name I have earned. I will not give you. Right. Then he does something really bizarre. He gives the ring to her. This is, again, like they're so desperate to try and make him into a good guy. He just wants to defeat Sauron. He genocided a friggin' entire people. Piss off. But the show, that's what they want. Because they want you to forget about all the evil crap he did last one. Now he's just a misunderstood bad guy who wants a safe place for the orcs to live. And the only way to do it is to defeat Sauron. Remember, he's the good guy because he's trying to defeat evil Sauron. And so he gives the ring back, which I was like, I don't think he gets stuffed. He wouldn't do this. And then, right, after he gives it back, so he swears that after he defeats Sauron, he will recall his children to Mordor, and they'll never wage war again.
Call my children to Mordor, never to make war on Middle-earth.
Right? See, he's really a good guy. He's just after Sauron. And Galadriel, smart Galadriel, right? She hears this, and you would think that she would realize, wow, this guy, army, right, is giving me everything I want. He's giving me the ring. He's offering his army to defeat Sauron. So what does she do? She basically says one of the very things that would get him to withdraw that offer, right? Because Galadriel, she's like, no, I can't let you do that.
I have slain more of your children than any elf alive.
It's like, Galadriel, are you trying to get him to kill you, you moron? Why would you say that? Sure, it's a bold strategy, but of course they don't care because Adar just ignores it. He says, and look at this. I forgive you. They're trying to make him be this really noble, pure-hearted guy. He genocided a friggin' civilization. Piss off. But now they look at him. It's like, I forgive you. I can't stand this gaslighting. Gosh. So no, like this moment where they're trying to make him look all noble and say, I forgive you. My response is like, piss off, show. You are not earning this. This is just contradictory nonsense. Be gone, logic. They're just most misunderstood. So anyway, she gets the ring, and look who it is. It's poor Glug. You know Glug? Sauron must have got him, right? They're definitely not going to fake us out, right? So she's watching, and he goes over. Now this, remember, Sauron, he either can control the orcs with his powers, or he can't. The show just can't make up their mind. They don't care about the continuity. The orcs friggin' betrayed him, stabbed him in the back. Now, well, they are under Sauron's control so much. Watch what happens in a sec. We are harboring a $5 says, Galadriel going along with this, with that is ridiculous. He's killed off, what, thousands of elves, hundreds of men, but we're good, we're chill. I know, right? Like, if she had any brains, she would never believe him like this. Adar is a psychopathic, evil piece of crap. He deserves to be strung up. All right. But no, the show's like, he's a good guy. He forgives Galadriel for all the evil orcs she's killed. And she's killed more than any other elf alive. Right? She's such a girl boss. She's the biggest girl boss ever a girl boss. She's killed more orcs than any other elf alive. She's that much of a warrior. When she wasn't even a warrior. Right? Yeah. But no, they can't help themselves. See, Indian Justice for 199 says, Adar, yeah, I was a bit of a meanie head. Yep. Glug might have cured orc cancer. Poor Glug. But still, right? So, pulls it in, gets Adar to come in close. It's too late. And then, boom, like they Caesar Adar, all the orcs, just like butcher him. Galadriel's just standing there like, oh, that just happened. And then again, for good measure. And then all the orcs get in on it, and they just start going to town on the guy. PL Hammerhand for 25 PLN says, cringe me to hit the ceiling. So look at all the orcs are just, whoa. I mean, I can't. Now Sauron has such dominant control over the orcs that they will kill anyone, even their father, the guy they love, right? The show doesn't care. Nothing matters, right? And so, and by the way, his armor, his breastplate, nothing. Like they're stabbing through it like it's tissue paper. And Galadriel's just watching like, okay, whatever. Guy just committed that he'll, help us defeat Sauron, work together. And there's his Sauron's hat, the spiky crown. Yeah, it's comical. Oh, I remember this happened to Sauron earlier. It's payback. But it doesn't make sense. If Sauron could control the orcs to that level, they never would have killed him. He could have just controlled him back then. They try and kill him. No, kill this Adar. This is crap. Just crap. Oh, yeah. So we are harboring it for $2. Says, never mind elven reflexes and volcanic resistance. There's that as well. Oh my gosh. So your Jessica for 199 says, Sauron, I love it when a plan comes together. This was his plan all along. So he walks up, is like, suck on that. And then, oh, by the way, hey, Galadriel, look at me. She's like, I know that voice. Turns around, it's Sauron. And the orcs are still stabbing Adar. Rah! And yeah, this is the whole like, you remember you did this to me, now I'm doing it to you, even though I shouldn't really have the power to do it because the orcs showed that they wouldn't obey me before, but now they are because arbitrary bullcrap reasons the plot because they don't care about continuity. And look, they're really dragging out. They're desperate to make us feel something about A. It's like, I don't give a crap. I'm glad he's dead. But no, they want, oh, this is tragic, right? Oh, my children. And Sarah's like, they're not children anymore. And then Glug goes and does it again. And then
Lord Sauron.
They're all like, genuinely, what did Sauron do to put them under his control? The rule was that if he gets inside your head, being in his presence, clearly doesn't work with orcs because it's in their presence for ages before and they didn't be able before. But even if they were trying to go with that, they weren't in his presence. They just walked up and suddenly they started to obey him. Like, it's nonsense. He doesn't have a ring of power on or anything like that. They just mind controlled all of a sudden. Senior Jessica for 999 says, removes Anatar's wig. Before I was Senior Jessica, I was known by another name. Cameron Durrant. Hey, Cameron Durrant. I remember you, man. The guy who wrote that song for Daedalus the Conqueror. Be amazed by this plot twist. Dude, that is a plot twist. I remember Cameron Durrant, because what A was so awkward. Dude, good to see you still around, mate. Execute Order 66. Sauron, script is part of my plan. And raise it and kill everyone, basically. Remember, they were so like, yeah, we don't like going to war, going towards meanie poo. But now, yeah, let's do it because they don't give a crap. Nothing matters. Nothing like what previous canon lore was established based on precedent of actions of what happened. That does not mean spit. All right. They will contradict themselves left, right, and center. And then, hail Sauron, let's go do some killing. And Glug was the one who was like, we don't want to go to war. I got a family, got baby orcs to take care of. Now, whatever. Oh, yeah. This is where she says, this was your design from the beginning. Piss off it was. Sauron has had no plans. He has just been a bumbling moron throughout the whole show. And then the show is trying to say this random bullcrap stuff is actually genius manipulation. And I can't say, I've mentioned it so many times already. Like a lot of his manipulations could have backfired at any moment. He had no guarantee any of it worked. None of it is clever because the writers aren't clever. And this is another one where the show wants to make us think that, oh, this was such a masterful plan. Please. And then she's like, this was your design all along. Senior Don Jessica 199 says, orcs, looks like killing is back on the menu. They've flipped around a lot. We are harboring it for $2 says, I guess he mind controls them to cheer. Why? Don't know. And they don't explain how either. And how is a really important thing, because this is a crucial moment, right? Where the entire army switches allegiance and they don't explain it. It's just because Sauron bullcrap magic. All right. Nick Filoni for $5 says, going out on a limb, judging by your review, these highly competent writers failed to stick the landing. Dude. Not only did they not stick the landing, they fell off a cliff for good measure and then burnt the cliff down on top of them. And then Galadriel. All of this. Copyright.
Was your design from the beginning?
It's a master plan. And look, I wonder, sometimes I wonder if these people who make this are half self-aware, because Sauron is like,
Please.
you mean this wasn't a plan at all. I've just been doing random crap, pissing along the way, and you idiots has just been doing everything I wanted. So he almost admits it. I'm not smart. You're all just morons in the greater plan, the greater will, which are the script writers, right? Be bending reality to mold everything according to what I would want. See, Jessica 199 says, epic battle to flip-flop. Epic battle of flip-flops. Sauron versus Kylo Ren. I wonder who wins Sauron. I think there's flip-flopping more. Major Guild for $2 says the cliff fell on them last episode. Yep. Now the underworld has opened up and the earth is swallowing them whole in this episode. So anyway, that was just kind of funny. It's just like, yeah, I'm not smart. Everyone else is just doorknob licking morons. All right. I just need to make sure I'm up to date on my notes. Yeah, I have this big note in capitals. Why the hell are the orcs on his side now? Adar armor doing nothing. So if I go back, right, when the orcs deliver Galadriel to Adar, they don't mention the crucial bit of information that she bartered with them to spare all the other people, that she has the friggin' 9 rings, right? And they don't mention it all. They just take her to Adar. Yeah, she elf turned herself in. Don't mention why. Again, nothing matters. They don't give a crap. They don't give a crap. UP Shoot, $5 says Sauron can mind control now because through Galadriel he finally knows what love feels like. Unlocked, unknown powers. Galadriel. Well, one more problem solved. Yeah, with Adar being killed. That's Adar, tragic end. Oh, not even. All right, so. Oh, that's him trying to say, I can't see all the paths. I am not this mastermind, and you're really not. Okay. I have a note here, so. No, your design from the beginning. Okay, we're moving on. He grabs the crown. Oh, no, this is where he uses the crown. Wait for it. The fight's about to begin. Galadriel picks up her sword that the orcs just dumped there. And look at that. That was a close-up of the sword. I want to... Look at that. They actually have a steel sword for a close-up. They can do it. There you go. All right. Why don't they do that with so many other close-ups? Like you will see, there are some close-ups, right? And they're rubber props, really thick rubber props. It's like, do you see like a steel sword? It's got, you can see how thin it is. It's got the structure to it. Wait for the foam ones because you see the foam ones later on. But it's just so bizarre. It's like, okay, so you know about using more real swords for the close-up shots. Why don't you use it for the other close-up shots? It's hilarious. Anyway, she grabs a sword and then she's going to go fight him. They did the bare minimum once. They did the bare minimum once. So many other shots, they don't even do that, guys. Oh, yeah, so in the fight choreography, oftentimes a lot of shows use foam or rubber swords, but when there's a pause or a still or a close-up, they switch it out for a more realistic looking prop, usually one that's actually made out of aluminium is oftentimes the type they use. This is what they did in House of the Dragon. Not in Rings of Power. Wait for him. Anyway, she's going to go after Sauron. She's going to get him. And he blocks with his hat. The spiky crown. I'm going to test it. Subscribe to Shadiversity, my other YouTube channel, right? We're gonna make it and actually try and recreate some of this stuff just to see how dumb it is, because he uses it as a serious and offhand parrying device throughout this whole fight scene. We are Harbinger for $2. Says they only had $1 billion, Shad, so one sword. Oh, a crown of thorns, one might say. He blocks it and then he twists it around. And do you see how thick this sword is? That is a LARP sword, right? And we see like this is what they use throughout the whole fight scene. Okay, this is why I got here. This is my LARP sword, except this one probably looks a bit better than the ones they have, right? Because this actually has a more discernible edge. Their ones have a rounded edge, right? But that's what they have. And you like real swords. Check, look at it. Do you see? Ooh, sexy blade. That's what you would expect. Something real. Okay. W85 for $10 says, after last week, I couldn't do it anymore. Did I miss much? The 1v1 Sauron vs. Galadriel. Yeah, we're up to it. Oh, wow, this fight. It's a great sword breaker, guys. We will see. I'll put it to the test. I just find it so funny that Morgoth when he made his crown, he decided, you know, I'm going to make this crown be able to kill angelic beings. It has some kind of death touch to it. And I'll make it spiky. And he puts it on his head. I was like, my lord, how are you going to use it? I'm going to ram him. See you, Jessica, for 199 says, Sauron, block, twist, gut. That's all she needs to do. That's the secret move, remember? So he kind of locks it away. She's like, oh no. Look at it. He almost looks in shock. It's like, Galadriel, what are you doing? Why are you fighting me? Don't you love me? Oh, the ring is chiming. It is even more beautiful than Celebrimbor led me to believe, he says. Need to make sure. Okay. Because, oh man, yeah, we're up to the fighting. I got notes on the fighting, guys. Because he reveals at one point that he knows she has the 9 rings. Okay. But she doesn't tell him she has Celebrimbor died to not reveal who he gave the rings to. So he should not know that, right? But at one of the exchanges here, he says, basically, hand over the rings. And it's like, dude, it was never shown that you knew. And the orcs didn't say, when they delivered her, they just said, oh, this elf turned us over. So they didn't say it either. He's read the script. Clairvoyance. That's how he knows. And then we get into the fighting now, guys. And wait for it. She's about to do a spin. She hits, and instead of hitting back, exposes her back. Spin. Yeah, there you go. And look, I might have to do like a proper fight scene autopsy to really break this down. I'll get a version of it so I can go frame by frame and show where some of the, but there are some moments that I will not be able to stop myself commenting on because like see you Jessica for 199. It says Sauron. So why didn't you tell Brimborg? Didn't you tell Brimborg again? I forget what that's in reference to. Sorry. Sometimes it goes above my head because I'm an idiot. But still, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I know. Morgoth's crown was supposedly put into a collar to put around his neck when he was captured and thrown into the void. But no, Sauron has it, and they reforge it because that's what he did. Because they don't give a crap. They want to take anything because they're so much better. Blocks with the crown. The way they pass each other so slowly. Ooh, that was bad. He slices her though. He slices her. Yeah, this might need a full autopsy. But anyway, it cuts away to the elves. So remember, like, they kept all the leaders alive, because I was thinking, like, holy crap, Gil-galad, Elrond, they're dead. They got totally defeated by the orcs. But the thing is, though, the order to not kill the elven leaders came from Sauron well after the orcs took the city under Adar's control. Well after Elrond and Gil-galad were defeated. So it was Adar that chose not to kill him. Why? I have a feeling that orcs are not as interested in the, practice of ransom or anything like that. But anyway, yeah, Gil-gadaddy, hail Disparu. But they're getting dragged in. They got the leaders. The orcs having fun burning everything. And they're about to burn all these scrolls. Elrond complains. He's like, that's the collected wisdom of Gil-galad. You can't burn it. How can he tell from these are just like random scrolls? There's no bookmarks. There's no, titles or anything on them. They're just random scrolls. But he can just tell by looking at them. I'm sure. Okay. And the orc, because the orc is just, they're evil when they want to be evil, right? Except when they want to be sympathetic. And so they can't decide. But he's like, ha, gonna burn it anyway. And Gil-galad's like, cowardly traitors. Oh, there's a moment where you see them like press on their armor, Gil-galad's armor and Elrond's, and man, it's just like looks so fake. You can even see it kind of getting compressed in, and it's just foam. My gosh. I wonder if we'll see it. Because they're fighting back. How dare they burn the stuff? Oh, it is here. See them press down? Look at this foam fake armor. Big budget, guys. They couldn't have gotten like a polyurethane that actually has some structure to it that actually looks solid, or better yet, aluminium or some type of light metal. Heck, you can even use titanium. I actually have a titanium brigandine that is a fraction of the weight, or not. It's less than half the weight of steel, right? Might even be more than that. But look at that. It's just pressing down. You can see it kind of squish like foam does. And anyway, Elrond punches back, but then they kick him down. And they're like, no, we're not supposed to kill him. Lord Sauron wanted their leaders unharmed. Well, then, okay, but before Sauron took control, why'd you keep him alive? Anyway, you remember who else is around? Wait for it. Oh, wait. Okay. You saw him briefly, but you'll see him again a bit later. Okay. And they make Elrond watch the stuff burn. A piston for $2 says, I had to leave for 1 hour and 20 minutes. What did I miss? You missed a bit. Yeah, but don't worry. You'll be able to go back and watch some more. It's still available around there. It'll be on Night's Watch. And you can enjoy watching all the other. Man, there's so much. This episode is dense. Like I wonder how this might go longer than last episode. Ooh. The last live stream review, I mean, because there is so much crap. Like I said, I think this is the worst episode of the season. It just keeps getting worse. And it's because they don't know how to stick the landing. Amateur writers, when it comes to resolution, they're lost. And so as a result, usually the conclusions end up being the worst part because it's all a mess. Alrighty, so Elrond is forced to watch. And back to Galadriel and Sauron. Galadriel just getting a boot in the chest, and I got something to say about that. But first, We Are Harbinger for $10 says, these orcs would have butchered everyone hours ago. That's what I think, realistically. Apparently, it takes 1,000 years for orcs to figure out how to tie people up, despite their advanced artillery technology. Well said, We Are Harbinger. Yeah, I thought like the orcs would have just killed him, but anyway, they don't because plot armor. So, Sauron boots her. This is going to come up more than once. Because here's the thing. When you're in a sword fight, in most situations, if your opponent was open enough for you to kick them, they were open enough for you to stab them or land your sword on them. And so when they choose to kick in situations like this, it's just like they abandon logic and reason and say, I won't try and defeat my enemy. I'm going to kick you into... And it's a flaw in choreography because they think, oh, this is awesome. They're going to kick him, right? Galadriel has an epic Galadriel and Sauron, it happens multiple times, and it's just retarded. It's just like they forgot they have swords and they decide to kick. So she gets booted down. She recovers. Oh, look, I don't think I can go through bit by bit in this review. I'll save it for a fight scene autopsy. Oh, she was aiming at nothing there. I don't know what he was aiming for there. Oh, she had to back to him for ages. This is funny. So we're going to try and recreate this move on Shadiversity because we're making the crown. We're making a replica of the crown. And I can't wait to test this because I think this is nonsense, right? Because he grabs it and then twists it around and they're trying to show that he locks her sword away. Watch. Oh, and locks it in there. Smack. I don't know, man. I'm like, from that position, I think she'd be able to just pull her sword out. There's nothing actually holding it there. And by the way, do you remember how I said rubber swords? Like, look at it. Like, there's not even an edge. It's just a rounded rubber sword there. Okay, this is a close-up shot. Yep. Bendy Larp sword. Yeah, just pull the sword back, right? But they try to show that, oh, this is such a sophisticated, lock away. Also, pay attention to where her sword is, right? In actual fact, I think this has locked away his sword more than hers. I think she can just pull hers out, but his sword is actually jammed in between her sword and the crown, where there's nothing jammed at the bottom of her sword. So she can just lower it and slide it out. Right. And I think because if it's pushing down, it's getting pressed on his shoulder. All right. I don't think that's going to be enough friction to hold it in place. We'll test it. We'll actually test this. So subscribe to Shadiversity. Wait until we get to do that. But, no, she got him, right? Fake rubber swords. Again, pay attention to where her sword is here. And then now where is her sword? Her sword is like aiming into his chest. The thing is, though, they try to show that there is something just up there. We might need to go back because it's going to be hard to time it. But it's actually kind of funny when you see it.
But to find the light.
I think I need to go back a bit further when he does. Okay, so we'll get through it, but I want to. Man, I think I went back way too far. All right, can I? All right, we'll need to watch through it. Okay, we're almost there. Dawnbreaker for $5 says, Gandalf talking to Frodo. Come, boys, sit with me and let me tell you the story of the Cuck King. King of the Cucks, he sat in the midnight cuck throne. Oof. All right. He spins it around, locks it in, and I need a pause right when they switch. Okay. Okay. I think I did it. I think I did it. This is funny. Do you see his neck? Okay. So we'll go full screen. They right there, they're trying to show that that is the tip of the sword that is getting pressed on his neck. But I have a feeling that having her actual sword go up in a straight line was, I don't know, getting in the way of the shot or something like that. And so either her sword is bending so much all the way like that, all right, to rest on his neck right there, because you can see that's a tip of a sword that I've put there. Okay, so either it's bending that much because it's rubber crap, or that's pointing towards his chest and they have something else there. Okay, and we'll play it forward and it kind of slides back out, but now it doesn't, like, you can still see it. See that? That's a sword tip. And so, yeah, it's like a magic sword or something like that. Can't be. I think it is, though. I think it is. You see it right there. I'm sorry. Right. Yeah. Just, they don't care. Continuity. What's that? Right.
Surely.
Okay. Then he says something interesting.
Of all elves must understand.
Nice big close up of this rubber sword. Look at that. Even the one that's coming towards the camera. It's like, surely in a close-up shot like that, wouldn't you think using like a aluminium prop would work? And it doesn't need to be sharp. You can still have an edge on it without being sharp, and it'll be mostly safe for stuff like this. Okay. I can even show you on my sword. All right. This has an edge. You can really see a defined, distinct edge. But guess what? It isn't actually sharp. I can run my hand along it. Fine. Okay. And so you can have an edge that is mostly safe for close-up shots like that. I don't know what, and they did it in like House of the Dragon. Good show. Don't know why they're like this. Effort, right? Who gives a crap about effort? Well, it's just rubber thick crap swords. Okay. Surely you of all elves must understand. Listen to this line.
But to find the light, we must first touch the darkness.
Holy crap! I'm surprised they had him say that. That was Galadriel's line in season 1. I roasted the show for this, because this was one of their mask off moments where they out Galadriel as being wholly evil, where she says, to find the light first, you must touch the darkness. And I was like, that is evil. That's saying you need to be evil to be good. I roasted it for that. And now he's actually spitting that back in his face, kind of saying like, you're evil, Galadriel. And I'm like, does that mean they know how awful Galadriel is and they're trying to run with it? Or like, because it doesn't make it better. The fact that Sauron, says this, it just shows that they're aware of how evil she is. Yeah, right. That was a face. Pause that at the right moment. But I can't believe they actually did. And there's multiple lines where, well, he does. There's another line that he throws back in her face. All right, so let me get it. She kicks instead of stabbing. Okay, yeah. Let me go back, because there was a moment where she does a kick. She kicks him instead of stabbing. Oh, but I don't think we can. Spin around, hit. Okay, nah. Anyway, I was surprised. I was quite surprised that they actually put that line in there, because they know she's evil. They are aware, or are they just bad? Dude, right? It's just another one of your illusions. Oh, here it is. This is where she kicks him. Again, look at how it's like rubber swords, guys. Okay, so she just goes girl boss, pushes him off, overpower, like no leverage, but she suddenly has more strength in him, even though she's sure, whatever. All right, and then she could kill him here. All right, instead of taking him out, she decides to kick him. Like, piss off, you idiots. If he was open enough to land a boot in his chest, you could have landed your blade through his chest. But she decides to be a moron and just kicks him instead. Sure. All right. And they do that more than once. So they've had Sauron kick her when he could have stabbed her. And then she does it to him. Senior Jessica from 499 says they are not aware of how in the wrong Galadriel is, as evidenced by the fact the show never acknowledges the fact she concealed the truth in season 1. Dude, like the levels of evil that Galadriel has perpetrated throughout both seasons is nuts. She is a vile, evil character, okay? Like, she knew Sauron had a hand in the craft of making the rings, right? And she didn't tell them. She didn't tell. And it's like, instead, let's make 3 doomsday weapons that the devil wanted to be made. And Sauron is only evil because she was like, you have to know the darkness to embrace the light. And Sauron wanted to just forge, and she convinced him to be evil. Like, she is so vile. Dawnbreaker $5 says, I'd love for you to react to the Skyrim live action trailer and compare it to Rings of Power. It's crazy a trailer for a game is better than this. Mate, I've seen YouTube fan-made stuff better than this. Amen. It's ridiculous how she gets away. I know. It's crazy. Okay. So she could have just stabbed him, but no. Sauron falls down. That was a solid kick. Well, it knocked him off his feet. CGI, Galadriel falling down. And then, what is this pose? What are you doing? Sure. And then he's back to Halbrand. And then he starts to mess with her. All right. And there's a line. Okay, let me see if I got the fully. Okay. Oh, that's right, because he starts to change into different people. Oh, wow. And look at this. They could no longer distinguish me from the evil I was fighting. It's they know she's evil. Look at that. That's them saying, yeah, Galadriel is evil. And I think that might be a line from season 1. And if it is how does Halbrand know that? Maybe she said it to him.
They could no longer distinguish me from the evil I was fighting.
Because you are evil, you psychopathic, vile person. Oh. Mages Guild for $2. You missed my super chat for a $5. Dude, I'm sorry. Where was that? I got Dawnbreakers, Senior and Jessica. How far back was it? I'm scrolling up. Was it this one? Mages Guild $5. All this comedy gold, the fight, the yeet, all of it. I laughed and applauded multiple times at the parody of it all. True satire. I think that's the one I missed. And so thank you for letting me know. We got it. And dude, I've laughed multiple times as well. That dwarf one. Oh, I think there's another one. Dawnbreaker. Get up, talking Frodo. Come, boy, sit with me and let me tell the story. Oh, no, we got that one. Okay, so I think we're up to date. Thank you for catching me. Don't want to miss these wonderful super chats. I appreciate all the support. And I think we are back up to date. Sometimes I miss them. I forget. Dawnbreaker for $2 says, look, he's Sauron. Yeah, she says that as I think they know she's evil. And they're trying to pretend this is Sauron taunting her. No, the thing is, though, it's true, though. These aren't lies. Sauron's actually saying the truth that Galadriel is evil. And she knows it too, and she can't stand it. Senior Jessica for 199 says, Sauron, I read the season 1 script. There is a line where he had to know this, right? It's when he turns into what's his face? Let's see. Yeah, he turns into Brimbor, and he should not know this at all. This is impossible for Sauron to know.
Are they not the seeds you planted?
That was the dream she had in like episode 1 or 2 of Celebrimbor, right? It was a dream. Sauron was nowhere. There's no way Sauron should know this unless he can actually read her mind. We are harboring of $5 says, imagine if Sauron bothered to get the orcs to back him up in this fight. He totally lost. They promised. They totally lost. They promised. They weren't far away or anything. Yeah, they were right nearby. Okay. He does. He wants to fight her himself. So this next part is funny. So he stomps on this rock thing right here, collapses. They both slide down, and Galadriel, bang, she falls, and that has taken her out. She can barely move, and she lands on soft ground, but now she can barely look at her. It's like, you fell a little distance, and it's more comical with the fact that at the end of this episode, she jumps off a cliff and doesn't have a broken bone, but that little fall was enough to like, oh, she can barely move. Look at her. It's like, Sarah didn't even do it. All you did was fall on soft ground. And she can barely crawl. It's going for her sword. And Sauron, he could kill her at any moment. It is fully at her mercy. Sorry, she's at his mercy. And it's like, nah, you can't have your sword. Boots. Wow. That did her in. But the fact that he had that line, knowing the dreams, well, Dawnbreaker for $2 says, Sauron is Professor X confirmed. They don't care. They don't care about consistency or power levels or what he can do. They're just doing whatever. And that's why nothing matters. You can't get invested in anything. It's all crap. So who cares? But they're desperate to want you to care. And I can't believe how crippled she is from that. Sauron's fine. Still rocking that helmet. Maid's Guild for $2 says, the worst is about to happen. GVG girl boss time. She goes Chun-Li on him. So she's crawling up, right? Grabs her sword. She can barely move. And this is, I know your mind. And she's like, it's closer. Wait for it. I know your mind. And I find it so funny. Throughout everything in the past, like few moments, she can barely move. And from barely being able to move, she whips out and goes full kung fu on him. And I laughed out loud. I just laughed at this. It was funny, man. Your mind is open to me. The door is still open. And she says, girl boss moment. Wait for it. Got to pause though. Remember, I had copyright.
The door is shut.
The door is shut. She rejects Sauron. He can't get in her head. And watch what happens. Well, I was like, what the hell? Where did that come from? And by the way, if she could land that kick on him, she could have chopped his head off. But no, she just goes kung fu.
The door is still open.
Oh, man. I just like, that was a whiplash. She could barely move. And then this.
The door is shut.
Oh my gosh. And then she tries and he dodges. Right, yeah, Bruce Lee. Tony Blaze for $5 says, as an author yourself, would you try to take legal action against a studio who tried to do an adaptation as bad as this on your book? I wouldn't want to sell. I'd be very reluctant to sell the rights. But once the rights are sold, it's kind of out of your hands unless they break certain contracted stipulations. But I've been told cases where, like Hollywood studios, even stipulations of contract, they just break it, and they're like, "What? You're going to sue us? You're still getting your royalties." So they basically do what they want. I'd be very reluctant to sell the rights, though. Dawnbreaker $5 says, your mind is open to me, like your legs will last. Oof, oof. Oi. All right. So now she's spinning around. Look at that. He hits her with his hat. Why are you spinning here? That is doing nothing. It's funny. She lands a hit on him. All right. Want to make sure. Okay. Want to make sure we're up to date on my notes here. Okay, no. The door is still shut. Yep, we got that moment. So funny. She could have stabbed him instead of doing that spinning back kick. But all right, whatever. Dragging out. It's epic, remember. You're supposed to care about what's going on. She gets a slice on him. That was a bad exchange. If I do an autopsy, get to break it down more. But Sauron is like, he's had enough. And wait for it, ready? He goes to stab her. Ooh. That is a face. There we go. Ah, man. I should have used that for the thumbnail. And then, look at it. I actually like what happens here. He overpowers her. Yes, he would. He's taller, right? He's a man. He would have greater leverage and strength, all right? And she has very little leverage on the sword where he is. And so, yeah, this is something that could happen. And he just, boom! And that is deep. That is deep. Senior Justica for 199 says, Sauron, damn it, my god powers are on cooldown. Yeah, why didn't he just use telepathy, telekinesis, any number of magic power? Like, no, the door is shut. He has no power over her anymore. Still, he beats her, stabs her. So, this is Morgoth's crown. This thing killed Sauron, an angelic being. So, I'm expecting Galadriel should die instantly, basically. They do try and show that it has some cursed bad goo stuff after she falls off a cliff, right? I would think it should kill her be a lot faster if this thing can kill Sauron. And it's also like, this crown is dumb. Like, if Morgoth wanted something that could kill and stab angelic beings, make it into a knife, mate. Make a weapon out of it. Who are you going to stab with your hat? It's a very awkward weapon. So yeah, she gets stabbed. That's an ouchie. And Sauron basically, this is where he simps. It's like, I could have given you a kingdom if you just loved me, basically. Like, I would have brought all Middle Earth to its knees if you just became my girl. Is a simp. And she's like, I will always resist you. Oh, the shipping. Yeah, it's just another rip-off Morgul blade. But it's a hat. So I'm thinking, well, she should be dead. But again, this doesn't matter. It's not going to mean anything, guys. Of course she's going to live, right? Oh, they try to fake it out. She's dead. No, she's not. And then he also sees the 9 rings. They fall out of her top. And is like, I'll take them. And he's got the rings. She's like, no, that's not good. And is she dead? Of course you know. Of course you know she's not going to die. All right. Back to Elrond. Oh, no. Right. So this is the Deus Ex save. Remember the dwarves? Durin will come. Well, these are the dwarves. They're coming down and they're coming to save everyone. The dwarves are just Deus Ex Dwarfica. Hi, King Feanor, Alpha Chat of Middle Earth. $5 says, Shad, haven't seen the episode yet. Did they turn Celebrimbor into a banner? Yes, they did. They did. Put him on the end of a big pike, and they hoisted him up. Yep. Oh, they've ruined every. All the characters that were already ruined are made worse, and the characters that were just boring and pointless were assassinated. So the dwarves are here. They're going to come and save everyone. It was a fake out. Even though I was like, did they stay or did they not? But you don't know the timing. Like, they don't care. There's teleportation going on, right? The Balrog isn't an issue, though. The Balrog's problem solved with that. And so the dwarves are arriving. And there's something. All right. So that's what Elrond is like. What's this? What's going on? Dwarves, says the king. Gene the Machine for $2 says she'll come back as Galadriel the White. Thank you for the super chat. She comes back and she is in white. The blacksmith for $4.99 says, look, it's the dwarves that couldn't arrive any earlier because they be home to stop their king, except they didn't even do that. Well, yeah, like I said, it's arbitrary nonsense. Nothing matters. But they're here. Yay. Boom, he's dead. And Elrond is like... So the dwarves are just like, they've got automatic rapid fire crossbows. Look at these things. Do you remember this guy? Remember him? We are Harbinger for $5 says the dwarves are walking down a narrow path on a mountain. Artillery time, obviously, and Elrond and co are still not tied up. Good point. I know, right? Like the dwarves come from the. You're right. They came down those walkways from the back of the city. I thought orcs were up on the back of that mountain because that's where they caught Galadriel in the secret entrance, and the trebuchets could easily reach it. They could just, bombarded them from a distance. But anyway, yeah, the dwarves made AK-47s. So remember this guy. Discount Legolas. Remember how he was stabbed in the friggin' gut and the side, right? Remember how he and you saw him briefly when Elrond and Gil-galad were being brought in, and they briefly showed him being dragged along the side. But you didn't get to see enough to see in what condition he was. Well, now we see his condition, and watch this. Boom! Boom! What? Wasn't he just stabbed in the chest? Nah, he's not a problem at all. He's not even injured anymore. It's disappeared. You can't take this show seriously. I know, right? That's the question. Right? Made by idiots for idiots. Elvish medicine, but he had no medicine. Oh my! It's exactly that. What the hell? This is impossible. Now, do you remember the title of the stream? It's all nonsense. Nothing matters. It's all meaningless. They wanted you to feel like, aren't you worried that he might die? No, nothing means anything. You see someone potentially, you get a life-threatening injury, it doesn't mean anything, right? They set up something, don't forget about it. It'll mean nothing in the end. That's what this show is. Piston for $2 says, don't know if I missed it, but how did Adar die? He was betrayed by all his orc children because Sauron could arbitrarily mind control them suddenly. They just done. He couldn't do that before, but now he can for reason. Right? But yeah, Adar is dead. He was, well, honestly, though, they could bring him back. Like I said, this show doesn't give a crap. They've stopped even trying. Discount Legolas is perfectly fine now. And he's not even showing any signs. Yeah, exactly. A few others. No consequences. There's no stakes, no consequences. Nothing matters, right? Just but a flesh wound. They kind of forgot they killed Arrangir in episode 7. Well, look at him now. He just is going berserk, and they all just fight him off. Ugh. This cartoon comical crap. All right, back to Galadriel. Oh, Deadpool regeneration. I know. Seriously, I shouldn't be surprised, but I constantly am. Amazing. Yeah. This show is just nothing but stupid. We can't skip Galadriel because this is another laugh out moment, man. Here we go again. If you skip the ending last episode, you literally lose nothing. WTF. Yep. So Sauron then wants her to hand over her ring. He's like, give it over. And so she decides to fake him out. She takes her ring off. And this is like, so you can't even explain her surviving what happens next by her having the ring on because she's not holding it. So she hands it to him. You wish to heal.
To heal Middle Earth.
But you can't. Ready? And then she decides to fake him out because, I don't know. Do they, like, creatively, what is the purpose of this decision? Do they think the audience is on the edge of their seat? Oh, she's giving a ring to sell. Who gives a crap? And of course, you know, nothing serious. Because so many things they tried to bait you with is like, oh, look what's happening. And then they forget about or contradict the next episode. Actually, this ring is horrendously ugly. Oh my gosh. So, and then and what does this mean? Like, you think you can heal the Middle Earth? Heal yourself. That's not a great own. Doesn't have the bite. And then she just falls off and he's like, no! He could grab her and stop her. But he's like, he literally could just lean forward and grab her. But no, he decides to wait and then, you know, oh, I missed. And look at this. I'm going full screen on this one. Look at this, right? Look at how far she's falling. There's Arendir. Like, he's not injured. They look up and look what they see. There's Galadriel right there. Like, holy crap! That is like a kilometer-high mountain. And oh no, is she dead? Oh, look, this is the thing, right? She doesn't even have a broken bone. I can't believe it. It should be. It should be. You're right. It's the volcano all over again. She copped a pyroclastic flow in the face and shrugged it off, only having Cheeto dust on her head. Now she's invincible. You can't have any investment in anything in this show. We are Harbringer. $5 says they had to have made this on Friday where everyone just wanted to finish up and go home. Galadriel's comeback doesn't make sense. It's her fault. Yep. There's no freaking way. There is. She should be a puddle of just mangled mess. Like, that's an impact that causes your body to splatter, right? Are they unironically trying to say it's because elves are so light that they could fall from any distance? Piss off. No, right? Because they've had elves fall from distances and get really injured. What happened to that girl that Celebrimbor yeeted off just a small wall? She basically almost died from that. And then an orc finished her off. Okay. She was spitting out blood from that. But Galadriel falls from a friggin' mountain and she's shrugs it off. They show her injured, but her main injury is the stab wound from the helmet. There's no, like, she should be splattered. Okay. But nah, she did take that volcano. Good question. How did they know it was her? That she was shimmering in the light. It seems like more than 1,000 feet. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Health Magic, trust me, bro. They were just very bouncy back then, you see. Chris Walker for $2 says, elves bounce? Question mark. They must. They must bounce. Nick Filoni for $5 says, you missed the batarang she threw in the far off shot. She swung it to save me. So you just come for $9 says, Galadriel has protection from pyroclastic flow and long falls, but not short falls. It makes sense. My brain hurts from trying to comprehend this nonsense. So, tragic thing happens now. The MVP, right? Grug. We knew you for so little. So Grug is saying, if we pursue the elves, many Uruks are about to die. And Sauron is not having a bar of that. Grug, no! No! Not Grug! Oh, why? Does this show just want to make us suffer? It hates us that much. You bastards! Damn you all to hell! Actually, I'm more of this. Look, I'm just putting it on a bit thick. I hated his character. I'm glad it's dead. But still, it's funny to consider that he's probably is more likable than Galadriel. No, Glug, no. Yeah, he's gonna feed his children now. Glug, we barely knew you. Your poor family. Be hilarious. Oh, season 3, Mrs. Glug. Where's Glug? Is he not come back? Yeah, this is a good question. I thought he was under Sauron's control. If he was under Sauron's control, he wouldn't be questioning about, oh, many Uruks will die. Are they actually trying to say that they betrayed Adar because they were just angry at Adar for making them come all this way, and they thought Sauron wouldn't be any worse? Are they that retarded? Are they actually? Is that the answer? There was no mind control from Sauron at all. The orcs are just doorknob licking morons. That might be it. See you, Jessica. F's for Glug. We are harboring $5 as Galadriel. Elves, wisest and fairest of all beings. Also, randomly immune to fall damage, fire, and spontaneous regeneration in critical moments. RB for $4.99. They will all die from their wounds between seasons. Rest in peace, Bronwyn. Yeah, probably. Gumedali for 50. I'm horrible pronouncing. My apologies. Hey there. I enjoy your stuff. Have some monies. Also, which stick is best? Pointed, forked, spoon, bladed, or plain? Look, pointed. Pointed. Can't go past pointed. F's in the chat. This show is made for memes. It's the only thing that'll come out of it that'll be mildly amusing. Nighty I think. I went, oh no! Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, look, he got what he deserved. And is dead. Andrew Henson, $5 says, just starting stream from the beginning. If this show is a journey, the journey is the baton death marches of TV shows. I hope you enjoy yourself, sir, and thank you for the super chat, Andrew Hansen. Sauron. Oh, it was his mind control. Sauron made him ask the question so he could kill him. Oh, my gosh. My gosh. Oh, wow. Funny stuff. At least we have the memes, right? At least we have the memes. Yeah. And so this is where they have the reveal, right? It's like she fell off a cliff. And she's not even like, it's like she just laid down there. Broly BP for 199. Remember, writers see orcs as people of color. Oof, oof. They certainly seem to fall in line with the ideology that do, you know. I do find it interesting that the orcs in this season aren't as pale as they were in the last season. In season 1, they were conspicuously pale. Remember that. And they got criticized for it. And now they are not. That's an intentional change. And I called it out, like, they made them very pale and white last season. Intentional. That you don't do that by mistake. And now the fact that they've also now changed it again shows that I think they realized they got called out of it, and they're like, "Ooh, that's a real bad look. Let's quickly fix that, right?" But they'd only fix it if they realize that, yeah. So, Galadriel, she's fine. Except for the stab in the chest. These are not merely wounds of the body. She has no wounds of the body. There's no broken bones or anything. Right? And anyway, he tries to heal her with the ring. We are harboring of $2 says they increase their okay, so hence no sun damage. But it seems like they're not affected by the sun as well anymore. Thank you for the super chat, the donation. Appreciate that. What changed? That's a good question. It's clearly something intentional behind the scenes.
A very immortal spirit.
It's being drawn into the shadow realm, and then they show like, why does he wear the ring upside down? Is it just to hide it? And to use its power, he has to flip it the other way. That doesn't make sense either. Whatever. Okay, and so again, they're trying to do like, it's like the Morgoth dagger. She's like, Frodo being called back to the light. And look, the way they have established Morgoth's crown to work, this should be the result. I think it should have killed her far sooner, and I think she should already be dead from the fall. And so this all just is built on contradictory nonsense. Then Elrond is like, well, first Gil-galad is like, I can't heal her, don't have enough power. Then Elrond's like, well, I can heal her because I can use the ring that I was dead set against ever using at all. But okay, if it helps us do some good, save Galadriel, now he's willing to wear the ring. Does feel like a contradiction of one of his core principles. Whatever, but it also shows that the show is aware that sometimes you might want to use the ring to achieve a good. It's not the one ring. These are just the rings of power. And so why did the king Durin take it off when it was taken on the Balrog? Just raises those questions. Nick Filoni, $5 says, diversity for orcs matters too. Don't be racist and marginalize the orcs of color. Well, they get the representation now, it seems like. Hi, King Feanor, Alpha Chat of Middle-earth, $5 says, canonically, quite a few elves and men fall from high places. Only one ever survived, Elrond's mother, Elwing. And that was due to divine intervention. There we friggin' go. Thank you for letting us know the lore. Hi, King Feanor. So, yeah, like, it was always silly that they've especially when when Legolas is jumping on the stones in The Hobbit, that was way too far. And I've mocked that because it's dumb and silly. All right. There are silly things, especially in the Hobbit trilogy and in the Peter Jackson trilogy, but nowhere near to the quantity of Rings of Power or the egregiousness. Rings of Power just jumps off a cliff with all of this. And the fact that she's alive from that fall, get stuffed. Don't even try it. But anyway, Elrond's like, I can wear the ring. We'll heal her. He puts on the ring, and that's that scene. This was obvious. All right, back. They got to conclude the half-foot stuff, which isn't really a conclusion, but hey, they got to do it because they're left with these characters, and so we have to do something with them, or the writers do. That's what they're thinking. RB499, it says, another orc will grow up without a father. Increased likelihood to end up in the dungeon. Grug is gone. Do you see the stick? The really conspicuous Gandalf-looking stick lying right near Nori? That's definitely not going to be Gandalf. It is. That is his stick that he picks up. I was like, I found it. And like, I believe I mentioned in the previous, review, like, when Tom Bombadil was telling Discount Gandalf, where they, you can either look for your stick here or go help them and not get your stick. That was like, yeah, it was going to be a test to see if he'll really do the right thing and help people out. And that'll be where he'll find his stick. And also, we get his name. He gets it. And it's as cringe as, like, you would. It's actually a bit worse. Because I think it was Ryan on FNT said he would laugh if someone found the stick and handed it to Gandalf and says, here is, because they call the sticks a Gand. Remember, you need to find a Gand, and they think he's an elf. And someone hands it like, here is your Gand, elf. And they're like, Gand, elf? That was the joke that Ryan made on FNT. The reality is just as bad. Because remember what Nori called him? Like, they said, is he an elf? And she says, he's a grand elf. He's a grand elf? Remember that? Yep. Oh boy. You clapped? You clapped when he said the word? Yes, Gand is Norse for wand. And they're looking for a Gand. What? Give me something for the pain and let me die. This is the quality of the show. Like, are they aware of how cringe this is? But anyway, oh no, the half-foot hobbits, whatever they are, they're gone. All right. Things about. Oh, and by the way, Durin the king is dead. Because what's going on is Nori is now doing this forced monologue of like, so and so told this to me, and this is the thing. Some things are lost forever, but some things you got to rebuild. And then they show, like, cutaways to other things that's happening. We are harboring for $2. Says the show is like a solo movie with characters. The solo movie. This show is bad, and it's a lot longer. But yeah, the King Durin is dead, and it's just forced crap. They're trying to make it feel like it has meaning. And this is where you see, like, this is Isildur sailing away, leaving that adulterous hoe behind. That is like, ha, suck. You're gonna screw over your husband to leave with him, and then you don't even get to go. You get what you deserve, but you know what? They probably will meet in season 3 and get married. But I think that's her standing with her. This pissed me off. This is her standing with her husband, okay? And then he grabs her hand. It's like, dude, she was gonna ditch you, sail off into the sunset, and screw you over, and you're gonna grab it. Oh, you pathetic cuck! Totally. Oh, yeah. See, that's in there. She doesn't give a stuff about you. See, Jessica is not grand elf. He is good. I know, right, bro? Wait, who is this? So this is the, girl that was pretending to hide the mark of Adar, that was searching for a husband the whole time, and then chose to ditch her husband, who's building her a house, and sail off with Isildur. And then now that she can't go with him, he's like gonna try and go back to him, and he's like trying to grab her head. It's pathetic. Yeah, is that the traitor woman? She is. It's disgusting. Yeah, all right. I don't care. Got it. Well, you asked, and you got it. I suck it. I couldn't believe it. It was like, he's still taking it. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's him on the boat. See ya. And he would still take her with him if he could. And remember Muriel? She's now arrested because reasons. We would really care. We really care. And that's Elendil. And he's leaving Numenor. He's banished. He's gone. Let Numenor sink into the sea because it's crap. Sauron. And so, again, it's all this forced, meaning. They want it to feel like.
We can do is try and build.
Look, there's nothing meaningful here. There's no depth. This is all just fake posing, right? It is hollow, meaningless drivel, pretending like, look how significant and deep we are, right? This is just playing pretend. People that do not have the talent to actually have something of true substance, posing and pretending. It's just, this, have you heard the analogy of wearing the skin suit of something meaningful, like the skin suit of Lord of the Rings, saying, we're Lord of the Rings. No, you're not. You're a ghoul wearing a skin suit trying to fool people.
Something new.
Get stuffed. Anyway, so that's them. Back to the Half-Foots. And this is where they say goodbye. I need to see, because they say it. This is, I think it's here. Oh, yeah. And wait for it, ready? I told you it's cringe. Ready?
Goodbye, Gandalf.
Goodbye, Gandalf. Gandalf? Gandalf? Yeah. What? I know. It's she said it. Not just her. Not just her.
Never even left home.
Because another one says it. Oh, I don't think we can get them. Gandalf, he says, with a question mark.
They've never seen an elf before.
Head hurts, eh?
Never even left home before. I tried to help him.
Oh my gosh. Tony Blaze for $10 says, hey Chad, thank you, sir. If you want to see a better adaptation of the Second Age, Tolkien Untangled did a really good 5-part video on his version of an adaptation of the Second Age. You should check it out. I might just do that. And thank you very much for the super chat, sir. Appreciate you. Okay, so just meaningless dialogue and she's off. And I think they're almost like, this is her saying, I got to go off on my own. Time for us to depart. Are they like trying to write out the Half-Foots? I'm not sure they have the balls. They might force the Half-Foots in season 3 discovering the Shire, right? See, Jessica for 199 says, I saw you, man. Saruman. Thank you for the super chat. She's leaving. He's off on his own now. And look what he finds. He finds a stick. And look at that. It's his Gandalf staff that was obviously there when Nori even picks it up and threw it aside before. Anyway, he walks back to Tom Bombadil and is like, this was a test all along. And he's like, yeah, it was. And what's your name now? And hang on. Where is it?
That's what they're going to call me.
Oh, yeah, this is it. So what's your name?
Gandalf.
There it is. He is Grand Elf is Gandalf. That's how he gets his name. Because we really needed that, right? Even though he's called heaps of different names all across Middle Earth, right? Gandalf was just the name the hobbits and a couple other people did. Wasn't like Mithrandir one of his names? He had several names. Gandalf was never like... But anyway, this show doesn't know that. The Blacksmith, 199, says, it's pitiful how the writers think this is clever. Well said. Well said. Yeah, man. See, Justica for 199 said, that guy's a Sauron. Sauron! See how they're figuring out the names? I get what you did there. What? Oh, no, I never saw that. Oh, yeah. This show could just, yeah, exactly that. Would have been funny. It's like, that's my name shall be Eric. Yes, it is that. Sore thumb, Sauron. 1 billion writing right there. Gosh, yeah, it's cringe. I can't believe that's what they did. And then they decide to sing. Now let a song begin. And this is not Tom Bombadil. This is not. UP shoot, $5. Amazon, we don't have the rights to the name Gandalf, but let's use it anyway. I think they got the rights now. There's been some negotiation happening, I believe. But thank you for the super chat, sir. And then they sing Tom Bombadil's song. And I was like, I don't think not Gandalf, would know the song, but now he just reads the ether and knows the song. And it feels out of place. And Tom is singing it really melancholily. So, yeah. The Blacksmith, 199, they call me Tim. I wish they did that. Ironically, would have been better. And then remember the bad wizard? Oh, just in case you forgot about the bad wizard is watching the sky as well. Ominous something. And that's it. That's all it is. They show the wizard and then, oh, Durin is going to be king, but he might not be king because his brother might be king now. And that's that scene. And he looks at the ring. The ring is right there. What will they do? I don't know. Don't care. Yeah, I feel the song just felt out of place. I mean, it didn't feel like that's where it belonged. But they're really desperate to make this feel like a satisfying ending. All right, remember Galadriel?
Know you to be such peaceable company.
But she's fine. Perfectly fine. Oh, no, don't need to worry about it. She gets up. And what is this place? They don't say it, but they're clearly hinting at Rivendell. What is this place? And Elrond says it's a sanctuary that they have because the rings were protecting them. But now they're sharing the origin of Rivendell, protected by the Elven rings. And look, it's pretty clear that this is Rivendell. It's got rivers around it. It's an idyllic, foresty place. And the king is like, okay, Sauron has an army. What should we do? Attack or prepare our defenses? What do you think we should do? They ask Galadriel. And then she says, we should do what our dear friend Celebrimbor said. And then she gives a non-answer because the writers are idiots and they don't even pay attention to the meaning of the words. Even though it was asked, should they attack or defend? She's like, yeah, we should do this. We'll get there. Let's listen to her, what she says. Instead of attacking or defend, remind our people. Copyright. Just being careful.
It is not strength that overcomes darkness.
It is not strength that overcomes darkness,
But light.
but light. That doesn't answer the question. Should they attack or defend Sauron? It's not strength, but light. We should use light against Sauron. Is that her? They want meaning, but there's no meaning there. That's not. What does that mean? And again, River, they're at Rivendell. And they look up and they're all happy. And then the king does a meaningless gesture. All the other elves that are now, refugees from the city that was destroyed. Attack or defend? Yes. That's not an answer. They look up and they all take heart. And this means nothing. But with the music, the show is desperate to make it seem like this is significant. We are harboring of $5 says, should we attack? King, buddy, we lost 1,000 elves in one day. Great strategy too. Light some fires to fight Sauron, but not cold fire. I look at them, they're looking up in awe. The music is rising. And so the king decides, what is he going to do? He's going to make a meaningless gesture. He draws his rubber larp sword. Look, go on full stream. It's a cool larp sword, but it doesn't look real. It looks thick, bulbous, and look at that! Look how thick that. That thing right there is this. It's that. You see, a larp scabbard. Right there. See how thick that thing is? Big budget. Big budget, guys. Why do they keep having people draw swords from arrows? This is like I said, it's meaningless. But boy, oh look, it's so moving. It's inflaming their heart and passion. Senior Jessica 199 says, "Why the F is Galadriel imparting wisdom here? It's not actual wisdom though." Yeah, he drew a sword. Yeah. Yeah, we just got decimated. Lots of our loved ones are dead. But yeah, our king drew a sword. They're dragging it out. They're really desperate. They want this to mean something. And they just randomly just came across Rivendell. Like, oh yeah, this place is special because we're here. Sure, all right. If you say so. Os324 for 199 says, she's in a nightgown again. Call back to season 1? Maybe. Nighty Ammo for 100 CZK. They were cheering for Gilgadaddy. It's like that. Yeah, sure. Alexander Cross for $2 says, easiest led crowd in Middle Earth history. I know. You don't need to do much. Point a sword in the air and they're ready. And that's it. That is it. That's how it ends. They point a sword in the sky. That's actually good. I must have walked days to get there. Riverboy member for 12 months. Thank you for being a member for so long, Riverboy. Appreciate you. I'm so glad I get to catch you live. Stay on watch. Hell yes. Stay on watch, sir. And that is not just the episode. That's it. That's season 2 of Rings of Power done. And what a dumb way to end the show. I point to, there's no victory here. You guys just got your teeth kicked in. Massive losses. And some of the most stupid things. Sauron gets away with the 9 rings of power for men, which is basically that would be spelling doom, right? And this is like the low point of the story where imminent destruction is about to befall the world. It's not a high point where you raise a sword in victory and cheering, but the show doesn't understand what it is doing, and it doesn't give a crap. And it's just like, this is meaningful. We've seen stuff like this in other movies, so let's copy it. And that means our show will be meaningful, right? Right? Carmen Rider KFP for 5 says that was painful, but to give credit where it is due, at least they haven't drunk evil corrupting worm fluids in this show yet. People don't know that is a reference to Willow, the TV show, because that is another one. That's just like, what? Benjamin Flesborg for 20 DKK. I have bugs in my garden with more imagination. Alexander Cross for $5 says, I plead to God or any other power that will listen that this is the end of Rings of Power as a whole as well. I doubt it. I think sunken cost fallacy. It's a matter of pride and vanity. And so they're just going to double, triple, quadruple down and just keep wasting money. But hey, we get to make content out of it. Stay on watch, brother. Will do. Will do, mate. Gene the Machine for $5 says, this is like the Last Jedi ending. They got decimated and they're celebrating. I know, right? It's retarded. But they're cheering and happy. It's like, you didn't win. This is not a victory. Galadriel should be dead. Like, you are in such an awful, awful position. The fate of Middle-earth looks totally screwed. But you're cheering. Good one. Good job. Hiking Feanor, Alpha Chatter Middle-earth, $5 says, Elrond founded Rivendell after his army was cut off from Celeborn's and was forced northward where he set up the refuge. I hate this show. Look, 100% like, so they've just totally subverted and desecrated and contradicted the founding and discovery of Rivendell. And now it's just a piss away random, we wake up and we're here because reasons. No, nothing meaningful there with that. This friggin' show, man. And look, they don't say it, but come on. This is clearly friggin' Rivendell, right? But I wouldn't put it by the show to contradict that. The show doesn't give a crap. Just doesn't even take itself seriously. Cancel it, man. Oh, it deserves it. Oh my gosh. Wow, there we go. There we go. Thank you everyone for joining us on this journey. We are done. We've survived. What a journey it has been, you know? It's hard to determine if this was better or worse than season 1 because it's so equivalently bad. You can tell it's so obviously written by the same people. And I believe the season 2 script was written in conjunction with season 1, which makes sense. It is just so crap. Season 3, I expect season 3 will come out. We'll have to wait and see. But if it does come out, you know we're covering it because that's what we do. Stay on watch. But I'm not going yet because we got a super chat. Senior Jessica for 199 says, cast season 3 into the fire. Yes, cast it into the fire. It deserves it. It deserves. Oh, wow. So as to the episode, though, final episode, I think was the worst episode of the season. Took us 3 hours, 40 minutes to go through it all. That's the longest live stream review out of all the episodes because there was so much. This was such condensed crap. Alexander Cross, $5 says, so far past the bottom of the barrel, they're striking. Yeah, so far past the bottom of the barrel, they're striking bedrock. Yeah. Yep. Sarah Gould for $10. Definitely Tolkien. Definitely Tolkien's Untangle. My brain is like so dead at the moment. Definitely Tolkien's Untangle is how I would have written it. I'm having trouble understanding because my brain is dead. I care about the mental health of my favorite roasters. You'll see where Amazon tried to incorporate some of those ideas, but execution. Thank you very much for the super chat. I'm sorry that my brain is dead and not much is sinking in at the moment. But still, I appreciate you Okay. And I appreciate everyone for joining us. It is time to wrap it up. Subscribe to Night's Watch, because we got the weekly live streams as well, covering stuff like this. And I enjoy these live streams. I enjoy hanging out with the chat. You guys make it worthwhile. I appreciate you all. And so have a good one. Until next time, stay on watch.